All right. Finally, I am live.
Yeah, you are live. I've been
Oh
live for a
my
minute.
Lord. That was
Windows updates, right?
yeah, man. I thought I planned correctly, but clearly I did not. So apologies on the wait, everybody. Flashpoint Ebontis. What is going on besides me being late?
Normal morning so far. I got my workout in. I was like, what have you been up to? And then I'll get to mine.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just battling, man. Sleep deprivation. That is the word.
Oof.
With Forsaken out, it's just been, dude. I've been playing nothing but this game. I just can't stop, and I had to literally put myself on timeout. Actually, the last 2 days, and just say, look, you've got to rest. Like you're not. I'm averaging 4 to 5 hours of sleep. This is not good. So I said, let me just shut it down a little bit and just kind of take care of myself a little bit better and then get to it. The game's not going anywhere. Cause what's happening is that there's so much content and I'm trying to stay ahead, stay ahead, stay ahead. And I'm like, okay, ready for the raid. And then bam, Shattered Throne comes out. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And then we attempted it and I was doing decent, but I had something I had to do, so I couldn't stay for the whole thing. And it's just this constant, just when you think you've got things under control content wise, because we all know how the powerful gear drops go. As soon
Yeah.
as reset hits, your whole map is littered with things to do.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, man. So it's just been this constant struggle of me trying to stay ahead of the game, and I'm hardcore putting in the hours, and I can't keep up. And I see Tassie had an article like that,
Yep.
and I completely empathize with him. Like it's a good thing. Like it's just so much to do, But the completionist in me is like, I must stay ahead. I must stay ahead. But I said, you know what? I'm falling back, taking care of myself. I will get to it when I get to it.
Yeah, I got to take a little breather in there occasionally, sometimes,
Mhm,
but not
mhm,
too long. But
mhm.
thank you guys for joining us in chat this morning.
Yes.
And for me, I had an insane weekend.
Okay.
And I wanted to give a shout out to pretty much 50% of my YouTube channel. I have 50% more subscribers than I did literally last week. It is insane. I want to thank all of you
Salute.
guys for checking out the channel. I
Mhm,
was like, hey, I want to do this guide again. I want to do it without whisper because I had a few requests.
mhm.
The YouTube gods shined on my video and
What?
it got out there in the world. And yeah, I got some. Yeah, I was like, okay, so I was, just barely cracked 8,000 subs with the giveaway. Cool, just sitting there. I was like, hey, working towards 10.
Mhm.
I'll eventually get there. And then all of a sudden, the video started going nuts and started climbing. And I've only had one
Nice.
other video do that ever in my life of YouTube, and
Mm.
it's just like it got shined on. So I just want to shout out to all of the new people who are following my channel. Thank you guys. The comments were awesome. The support. It's been amazing, and the legs on that video have been much longer than I expected. So it's kind of amazing. So I'm just kind of
Oh.
beside myself and have been all week as I've just been watching this thing go nuts. And I guess it's just one of those pieces where, right place, right time. And I'm glad you guys enjoyed the video. So welcome to my world and welcome to this world of Flashpoint with Cognito, the man of the best intros in the business.
Thank you, sir.
Seriously, if you ever want, if you can just listen to the first 10 minutes of every Iron Lords podcast and you'll just laugh. Literally, that's all you got to do. Just the first 10-minute intros of all the people, the guests, whoever's in there. I'm sure there's one or two of me that are completely unjustified. But
Now,
either
everything
way.
Listen, man. I mean, we know our history. We go back, and first off, congratulations because I know how hard you work, and me and you talk offline a lot. And just to see your journey, and like I said, even meeting you at Guardian Con. What has it been now? 2 years now? Has it been two?
Is it 2 or 3? I don't even
Two or
remember now.
three?
It's been a long
It's
time.
been a while, and I just seen you. And you had the
2.
passion, you had the look in your eye. This guy's ready to make content. He's ready to deliver, quality stuff, and he's just knowledgeable. And just to see your journey continue is something that is just really outstanding to me. I don't think you get enough credit, and I try to champion you as much as possible. When I saw that Whisper video, I'm like, whoa, he got one. He got one, man. Like it was so good to see, and like I call him affectionately the Bob Ross of that, that destiny. I mean, this guy is what you know. What the strength that you have with your guys and just the way you do your content is that you break it down so that a layman can understand. That no one is overwhelmed. And I even used it because one thing about that, I'm glad you did it for that one because as a warlock, I have jumping nightmares. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of floaty people that are like, this feels wrong.
Yeah, the floof masters, like the worst thing you can do to a warlock is say, hey, jumping puzzle.
Yeah. And they're like,
Hey,
oh God.
timed limit, right? So
Yeah.
that is that section encapsulates all my fears as a warlock. Everyone's ahead of you, you're jumping slow, and you're like, nope, take your time, go here, you can jump here, you can do this. Okay, take like you just have that style that's just very calm. I'm like, all right, Ebontis, he got me. I'm gonna follow this, I'm gonna do this. And sure enough, boom. And now you got the solo, whisper joint going on. So super, super congrats. Well deserved. Please, if you have not subscribed to Ebontis already, what is wrong with you? You're one of the top guys in the game, man. Please support this guy. And like I said, we always try to link up and do this Flashpoint thing for y'all, and it is a privilege. So once again, salute Lord Ebontis.
Well, thank you very much. So that, yeah, just kind of blown me away. It's at like I mean, there's people who get views like I got on my videos. They get them in like an hour or two, or like the first day they put them up. But for me, I don't see anything like this. So it's at 189,000 views right now, and it's just nuts. So
let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you guys. It's been amazing, and I'm just beside myself. And it's just kind of one of those things. I'm kind of just blown away. Yeah, I'm over 12. I was like worried about like, hey, I just broke 8,000. Let's see if I can get a couple extra 100. I'm over 12,500 now. I'm just like, holy crap. So. Thank you, Par 5. Thank you, everybody out there in chat. So any and all the words and love that you guys spread, so much appreciated. And just one of those things. I'm like, yeah, if you could see, if I had a face right now on camera, I'd be blushing probably.
He's cheesing. Yeah. That's good.
But honestly, guys, the world of Destiny 2 is one of the reasons that's even possible is because this game is in such a great place right now. And as you said, we cannot stop playing. Yeah. It is really like it's one of those pieces, but honestly, it's hard to main more than one character. I saw a tweet, I think it's like always Destiny Reddit posting their little pieces up. It's like your main character is your main, and that's it. If you're really going to stick with one right now, much less trying to do all three, I mean, you got to life it for 3 just to try and be really out there. And some of the crazy people up there who've hit 600 already, I'm just like, I'm happy I just broke 550 and I've been playing a lot. Facts. And some of that's like roles and pieces like that, but there's always so much to do. You log in, you got a daily to do. Am I going to work on this character? So I'll work through 5 Crucible matches and 3 Gambit matches. Do I want to grind for Malfeasance now, which is an option just out there? I haven't even seen that boss yet. Am I going to do the daily stories? Am I going to do the strikes? Am I going to work on a Nightfall with some friends and kind of pick my way through that one? Dreaming City. Do I want to do Blind Wall? Oh, I can get my new Seed of Light for my 3rd subclass this time. It's just like, it doesn't stop. And now Shattered Throne, I haven't even touched that thing yet. I'm too low. I'm barely cracking 550.
Bro, let me tell you, them enemies in there at least 570.
Oh, 570, 80, 90. I was just like, geez.
Yeah, we'll get into it, but all I will say briefly before we get into it is that this new thing that they're doing is definitely, in my opinion, like a 3-man version of a raid. They finally done something that's the equivalent that you can do with a fire team, and we'll get into it some more. But man, kudos to them. This thing, it's tough, man. It at least the enemies, you know what I'm saying. Once you get things down, you know what I'm saying. But I did attempt it, and from what I've seen, I was very pleased. And shout out, I got to give one thing though. I don't think that Forsakens get enough credit. Seriously? These strikes, this dungeon,
new ones.
All the new strikes post Riven, the raid, Last Wish raid. Yeah, the ambiance is amazing. Like whoever's
the Dreaming City, like
bro, like whoever's designing this, it is like especially anything that involves ascendant plane. Really looks spectacular. There was one mission, I don't know which one it was, I was doing, and like we were doing like a mini jump thing, and there's like it feels like you're in the ascendant plane, but you're in space, and there's boulders going past you, and
it's like the new ascendant challenge you just did. This week's is really crazy.
I didn't do this week's, but it's what's this week? Tell me what's this week's.
This week is you come in. There's a lot of jumping to the middle platform. You kind of kill the ads. You pick up the sword, and you have to smash the knights and then take the sword out. So that's this one. But there's like if you just go wander around that place before you even attack the enemies, there are so many different platforms and directions to go wander around in there. I got lost for like 10 minutes. I was like, crap, I should probably finish this while I'm still ascended.
Yeah,
but
man.
It's just like these little like flickers of picture like lightning in the background, but picture a strobe that goes off like once every 20 seconds. And if you glance right or wrong, you might catch an entire like array of platforms that you can go wander off, and you're like, oh, let's go see what's out here. And it's like, yeah, so you can just get lost in some of these ascendant challenges, which is really cool. Last week was the platforming, like going straight up. This one was like all about like the big hive sword. Yes. I like how the ascendant challenges have actually been noticeably different. Same thing with the spider bounties. Each one of those, so they're kind of annoying sometimes, but they definitely have their own mechanics to them. So soloing each of those is kind of its own thing. This week was no different. So
yeah, absolutely agreed, man. And again, shout out to these post-story raid strikes. And it's just so good. And I can't remember the name of it. It was me and Addict. Shout out to Game and Addict. We had did it, and it was just a phenomenal. And they were like, "Yo, you haven't seen nothing yet. Wait till you do this." I think we had to like uncorrupt Kali or one of the other. How do you pronounce it? The Techians? I can't pronounce it right.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, whatever. One of them was still corrupted, and this mission involved going into the ascendant plane.
You're talking about the corrupted strike where you go back and forth your base in space. Yeah. That's the strike that unlocked after the raid. That thing looks, you go like halfway through, you're like, oh, this looks like the Dreaming City. And then you go through like one section, you're like, whoa, hold on. And it just opens wide up into kind of like what you picture to be like the edges of the reef. And you're kind of on the tips of space. And you're like, what is happening right now? It looks so good. You just have to like stop and look and be like, damn.
Yeah. That's the vibe. That's the feel. And again, they don't get enough credit. I mean, this content is spectacular, man. I'm just really enjoying myself. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about, but we can talk about those strikes all day, man. I can keep going.
No, seriously. Those if you haven't just jumped in the corrupted strike randomly, or it hasn't come up on your list of things that just like popped through, just go matchmake into it and go see it. It's really cool. And even just the mechanic in there, when you pick up the charge, you can throw it back and forth to hit her harder. Just little pieces like that. So, I mean, there's just the little additions, but just the look of the game. And there's a lot of people talking about, it's like, I definitely want to play Anthem. I'm curious to see how it is. And it looks really cool, but I was like, there's no way you can say Destiny 2 looks bad. And honestly, if you're playing it on PC, it's like, you'll never go back. So can't wait for you to join me in that party. But there's a lot of people out there talking about cross save, which would honestly be the best.
Sony dropped the bomb.
They
gave us hope that maybe one day, I'm thinking D3 definitely.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Just to be able to like be like, hey, somebody wants help on play. I get all these requests all the time, and it's like, and I can't keep up 6 characters anymore. I'm just working on PC to try to keep up 3, but somebody's just even comments on Whisper, be like, hey, could you run me through? I'd love to run people through on PlayStation.
Facts.
I mean, granted, my skills with controller may be janky right now because I've been on mouse and keyboard for a while, but either way, it's like I'd love to jump on and help them with what I have. But I was like, just because I've put in the time, and it's so bad to split between all that stuff. So
absolutely, completely agree.
But yeah, so we're going to talk about this week at Bungie, a couple other pieces. One of them was mentioned that were kind of the topics, and then we'll kind of delve in a bit more to this whole Dreaming City stuff that we've kind of already touched on halfway, but we will jump into that one here. So over here on the TWAB, you guys can see basically the Ascendant Challenge up here is the top kind of graphic. I always like the picture. It's really cool to see a bow on the back too, because honestly, like the bows still keep being pretty solid. I like how the way they hit. I mean, PvP, they're not as viable as I wish they were. I mean, they are, but you can't like, get a couple 3 shots on a pulse rifle and kill somebody before they go hide. If you tap them with a bow, they have a chance to go hide. But if you're working around comboing with people and stuff like that, they just feel good. But in PvP or in PvE, I love that I can just basically have a slow sniper rifle with like 60 bullets. Yeah.
Really cool. Really cool. I didn't realize how effective bows would be in this expansion. They've really shown that they've kind of got their own place in the meta. And it's really good to see.
Yeah. It's nice just and it's one of those things if you're going through, even if it's just something you need to pop a shield. I've got my Subtle Calamity, the Void one. I got it with Explosive Head and Dragonfly. Works real well.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a fairly solid combo. There's only a few rolls on bows, I will say, which I'm okay with. They don't need to have completely trash rolls.
Yeah.
But there's only seem to be a small variety of rolls. Like Arsenic Bite always seems to be the same.
Yeah. Arsenic Bite,
Sometimes we have a
Rampage,
few varieties.
Explosive.
Like, yeah. So there's not a ton of choices on those. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen, we'll just start with the Dreaming City. So if you guys haven't checked it out and you're wondering how this all works, by the way, go check out My Name is Baif, his video over the lore of the Dreaming City and everything that's going on. It explains this 3-week cycle and he does it very well. So this is going to be the reason why we're on a 3-week cycle, why some of the stuff comes up once every 3 weeks, why there's this like, you know, continuous cycle of things that are stuck in. So what we've got is we finished the raid and then the Dreaming City was on a 3-week cycle. So this is the 3rd week. So if you've wandered around the Dreaming City, when you logged in the first time to the Dreaming City, how did that look, by the way?
Man, it looked fantastic because I remember when I logged in, I'm like, you just see it's like what it reminds me of. You know how like Venom symbiote costume?
Yeah.
And he's like, when it's in little bits, I was like, what are these black things dropping from the sky? I'm like, what is going on? So that's when I realized, okay, and then you just see all the like what you call it, taking orbs and stuff like that, and you just see the manifestation of all these, you know, it just seems the city's corrupted, the castles, all these stuff, the church is corrupted, and it just looks aesthetically very cool. And I'm just like, yo, this game just, you know, every week, man, it's just like it just continues to do something new and continues to add something new. And they did say this, but to actually see it in effect and just done so well, and the fact that they visibly changed the atmosphere of the Dreaming City, and you know, the whole explaining the whole cycle and all that stuff is just really cool, man. I thought that was a fantastic touch. Again, kudos to Bungie, man. Can't get enough. They're just knocking it out the park with this expansion. They keep doing things. But yeah, I was very, very much impressed.
Seriously, like I don't envy whatever comes next. I know like some of the annual passes probably still worked on, but whatever, and those are going to be smaller pieces, we know for sure. Raid layers here and there, of which, I mean, I'll be very curious about the raid layers because this time they'll probably have a story component to them. So,
is it rest in peace Black Armory already?
No, I'm not saying rest in peace Black Armory. I'm saying rest in peace like Destiny, whatever, or whatever like next September, whatever the big one is. All I can say is this September set the bar high, so they got to work like literally overtime for the next 12 months to try and keep up with what they've done on this one. It has been amazing. The Dreaming City, the Tangled Shore, the bounties, the progression, and all those pieces. It's just like it's just constantly stuff to do, and not everybody has the same opinion. We'll get into some of that stuff later as to difficulty and leveling and stuff like that. But just the amount of things we have to do and just the progression they promised on and delivered. Yeah. Damn. Like, yeah,
absolutely.
But if you guys haven't seen it, or you're not up high enough to even try it, or you're just living under a rock, the Shattered Throne is a new piece. Now, we've had strikes before. You literally go from point A to point B. You'll have a boss in the end. There might be some minor things to him where he's like, oh, I'm going to do some shield, and you got to, you know, kill a couple enemies. We have something now called a dungeon. If you've ever played World or an MMO, these are what strikes could have been, and these are probably more to the level of the dungeon's the right word. It is a true experience with mechanics, multiple bosses, multiple pieces to it. And it's towards an in-game piece. And this is the type of thing that, honestly, I know lore, it may be a harder thing this time to make it work. But this is the type of piece where because strikes still, I feel like, need a place. Because outside of having to do my weeklies for them, there's no real narrative reason. There's no real purpose and progression that makes you actually have to go. You don't go through the story, then you go do some public events and some grinding, and then you know strikes will get you from, say, like 520 to 540. If you know strikes are doing that, you would grind them out for a little while as that piece of your progression. Right now, they're kind of a piece, but this dungeon is really, really cool. From what I've seen, and I have not tried to spoil too much, it will kick your butt. Yes. There are mechanics to it, which is really cool. So it's like a mini raid, basically, but it's a 3-man, so you don't have to go find a big group. You are going to need a couple friends to do it. I mean, but there's also a challenge to solo it. So they do actually intend for that to be a thing. And whenever the hell I get high enough level, I'll go try and catch up to Esoteric and do it as well. But I like that they put that in there. It is 3-man. They said, okay, we are going to make this soloable. And there's a challenge to flawless solo it. So wow, bars up there pretty high. So Esoteric has already done it. Shout out to that man.
Yeah, shout out to him. He's amazing.
He's crazy. But at some point I'll join you guys and probably do my Bob Ross commentary and workulation.
Let's go, Lord Bob Ross.
That one got me a long time ago too. It was a comment, and I was just like, somebody's like, you're like the Bob Ross of Destiny videos, and I about fell out of my chair when that happened. So.
Dude, you are like anybody who watches your. If you have not watched it is the most like you get the stress out of a person. You're just like. It's just very calm. You could be in the most intense situation. That's when I saw you in the back in the Challenge of Elders, and you're like, nope, this is what you do. You take your void lock, you had your nothing manacles. It was very calm, very precise, very delivered, and just explaining it for the layman so that he comes in and says, you know what? I may have a chance of doing this.
That's what I try. It's like I'm not like the epic tier, but it's like there's points where I've gone through things enough, I'll learn the fights enough, and that's what like I spent more time on D1. So like Nightfall solos with the Shield brothers, I could tell you, be like, okay, it's about 180,000 damage when you move the dude out of the room, and that was when I think Pyro even noticed. He's like, so much detail in here, and it was just those little pieces that I try and give that will help. And same thing with the Shattered Throne. It's like there are going to be certain mechanics you got to go through, and it's like, yep, you'll have like an hour video of my commentary, so. Hopefully my voice doesn't bother you. I got one other comment once that was like, this is kind of like ASMR. I was like, please don't let me put you to sleep while you're playing. So, but honestly, Shattered Throne looks really, really cool. And I just like, it's like, just when we think we've got the raid and this is the end of it, there's a whole other thing in here. And I'm just like, how do you keep throwing stuff at us, Bungie? I don't have enough time to do all of this crap. And it's going to be gone for 3 weeks too. So that's the other piece. I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that. What do you think about this whole 3-week cycle? So you've got the Wish Ender Bow, you've got the Shattered Throne, these couple pieces that are now kind of time gated, basically on a 3-week cycle. Do you agree? Do you wish it was always staying there? What are your thoughts?
Surprisingly, I don't have a problem. And what's funny is I might actually miss out on getting Wish Ender depending on my schedule this weekend.
I'm not going to touch it this time.
Yeah, so I'm probably not. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's going to be there. It kind of reminds me of Sleeper in D1. When Sleeper only came around, I believe, one part of that quest, the first part or whatever to kick it off, came around like on the 7th of the month or something to that effect, if I recall. And listen, I think it's a cool Easter egg thing that goes in conjunction with story. I have no problem with that. You know, I get it for the people who, you know, they're out of town this week or whatever, you know, they have responsibilities. You know, shout out to my man Fred about Rebellion. You got to watch Fire Team Chat. Those guys are going at it. It was classic, man.
I think it's playing devil's advocate, and I know that was the whole purpose of it. Yeah. But there's part of me that was like, I couldn't, because part of me was like, I think he was actually kind of a little annoyed that he didn't get there, but I was also like, he kept harping on it so much, and I was like, to a point of, I know you play devil's advocate, but to a point of almost annoyance for me. And I know that was kind of the job of what he was doing. I literally do. I was like, I know, because I literally read the tweet, and him and Dustin were going back and forth. It's like, hey, we're going to have different opinions, and that's totally fine. But I'm just sitting there playing from my perspective. I was like, I literally did not touch the raid. I grinded a decent amount of hours. I didn't have the 50 in there, but I knew I wasn't ready. And I had absolutely zero problem not being first. So it was like the whole devil's advocate piece of just like, hey, do you care that we're only 2 teams that finished it? I was like, no, because I come from a different background.
Exactly.
And it's like, I mean, when I played World of Warcraft and I was going through literally just the initial expansion before I got into Molten Core. And I don't even think that was the big raid that was out, but it was just the guild that I joined. Molten Core, okay, picture a 10 boss raid and like picture ours, but also picture the fact that you have to kill the first boss over and over, and you only get to kill him once a week. And that whatever drops you get from that, not every person gets an upgrade. And you have to do that over and over per week just to progress to the next boss. Picture that slow of progress, and then you come into this, and I'm like, okay, so I missed the first week. Whoa.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's not a big deal.
No, I'm sorry, continue.
No, you're good. That's all.
No, I hear you. I'm with you. I'm literally with you. I mean, like I said, I was listening to them and shout out those guys that, you know, and I feel for them, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I feel for them because there's something to be said. Okay, yeah, you know, you want to be part of that whole thing, and you know, your light level, and you know, you grinded. You felt you grinded your hardest off because Attic had the same problem. He felt he grinded the hardest he could possibly do with the time he had, and he still wasn't enough. And like you said, and like I think you know, Sean Finnegan and some of these guys said too as well, like, hey, it's still gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? So really, what is the issue? The issue is not about that it's badly designed and, you know, Bungie's, you know, not making it fair. It's just a matter of, look, If you have the time, yes, you're able to put in the work. Yes, you can get there. Obviously, it's an insane amount of grind that you have to do
Right.
there. But at the same time, if you don't get there, it's okay. And we talked about this last Flashpoint. It's
Yeah.
okay. So this really comes down to just an emotional thing because that person wants to be part of the world's first crew. Let's just keep it real, what it is, right? Like, it's an emotional thing. It's like, I want to do it on first day with these other guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But the reality is you can't, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Listen, we beat Cali. We're up to Shirochi. We're doing it, and my raid crew is doing it at a nice pace. We're like, okay, we can get this done if we have flawless runs, but it's okay. We'll come back. We'll level up stronger, and then we'll knock out that. Then we'll get to the ogre. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get done. The issue just comes down to the ego, and then like I said, when you put belts and you put jackets and you put, Bungie saying your name out, yeah, you feel. I can understand why people feel away, but at the end of the day, I like this direction. I like the fact that the content you have to grind your level to get up to certain parts. I like that. I really, what I'm saying, it's not, in my opinion, artificially extending anything. To me, it's already hard, right? If you have flawless execution, you can do it. So listening to those guys, I definitely heard that the side was coming. But let's be real. I mean, everybody was disagreeing with Frank. Let's just keep it real. Like, as far as far team chat was concerned, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just that for the sake of argument, I
Yep.
can understand this point with, less than a certain amount of people, whatever, did it. Is this what they want? And I think, honestly, they're okay with that. I think Bungie's fine with that.
Yeah. I was like, you go too far the other direction. It's a point of a raid. It's like, you want this thing to be an extended process and things like that. And they're working toward these epic things. I mean, they had Dado had 30 to 50,000 viewers. He had 30 at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But he had like 50,000 viewers for like 18 hours long. I mean, that's insane, but people wanted that. And that fight, that struggle, that work through. If it would have been a lower level or easily accessible and there were more people involved in the race and things like that, and it was done quicker, that takes some of the hype out of all those pieces of people watching. They're trying to figure it out on their own. They have the whole vault pieces going on. What do you do with this? People in chat watching and looking. And honestly, I would rather see it that way, to where it's harder, because it kind of takes the wind out of the sails when somebody beats it in like 3 or 4 hours. And you're like, that's like half a shift of work. And you're like, hey, it's like I went to lunch and by the time I came home, it's already beaten. You're like, well, that must not be that bad. I mean, yeah, it may have more accessibility to it, but it doesn't put it up there on that pedestal of like, damn, I really got to grind my butt off trying to get up there, work on leveling up. And it's just one of those pieces. I think a raid should be that. That is your true epic in-game. I mean, you have an Ahamkar, which is the biggest raid boss they've ever put in, the craziest raid they've ever done. And it needs that like level of epic adventure, perfect execution, mechanics, damage checks, all those pieces. And you know what? If you go through and you do Cali and you get to Surochi and you can't do it, but you got a piece from Cali because you're going to get a drop, it seems anyway, and you get a small upgrade, hey, work on that. Keep grinding your dailies, keep grinding the other stuff. Come back next week, work on week one, boss 1 and 2. That's literally how it should work. That's how those things should go.
Love it. Love it. Yep. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, the last point.
And now the people who are working on grinding up be like, hey, I can't find a 6-person team yet. Can you find 2 other people to work on the Shattered Throne when you get leveled up? This is another way to get gear as you work on leveling up. And then you might be even more overpowered when you step into the raid the first time.
Exactly.
More accessible. So they've got so many options for us now that I think is a really positive turn. And I mean, I can't wait for the raid. I just know I'm not ready for it yet. And we do this damn thing, and I play my butt off, and so do you. And it's like, I know I'm not ready. I have 2 characters at 550. I don't even have my 3rd one up there. I haven't even done the story on my 3rd one because I'm like, there's another like 6 hours.
Yeah.
So I was like, and it's a grind. It's going to be real, but it's just kind of one of those pieces. I know. So
absolutely. And the last point, we'll put the last wish.
Put a cap on this one. Yeah.
I know, but it's just a great topic. I know we've just been going on it, but the last point I put on it is actually me doing it the first time under leveled made me a better player, because when I got there, I was realizing things I can get away with, what I couldn't get away with, what were difficult points. It made me change out my loadout. It made me think of more effective things so that when I came back stronger, like it was a breeze on a certain part. I'm like, okay, I know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like trial by fire. So that's the other thing, like seeing what works, seeing what I was learning about subclasses, like even for the Shirochi thing about speed. And I'm like, you know what? Even though I got my let me go Dawnblade because I need to assist my team with ad clearing. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
doing that whole thing. So again, that's another thing I took from it. And like you said, that content being hard, you getting groups together, you're achieving things in progression in steps, and it's great. I really love it, and it just adds to the lore of the raid. I mean, let's be honest, like who wants to just go through it? Yeah, you do day one, you blaze everything out, then what? You're kind of like you're
Right.
done with the
Like, where's
content.
yeah.
Yeah.
So no,
Yes.
yeah, I agree. It's like I don't mind the grind. I know some people are like, oh, other games are coming out in a few weeks. I'm not gonna have as much of a grind or much time to do stuff.
Right.
I mean, and that's the point where the fall is the crazy fall, and we understand. Some people are like, hey, Spider-Man came out and I want to do that. Spider-Man will wait for a single player I mean, and if this is your thing, otherwise just know it's like, we're gonna have some expansion come out, the small annual pass first piece with the Forge. I don't know if they're gonna bump light level and stuff like that. If they do, that'd be kind of cool. Maybe a smaller bump, but I do want to see some bump. I don't want it to be 0 if there's any story involved. But we'll just have to see how it goes. But it's like this will still be waiting when you want to, and if you want to jump away, remember that's always fine.
Exactly.
All right, so that kind of covers the raid topic for now. So we'll kind of scroll down and get into. We got a new Crucible mode. Have you had a chance to touch this thing?
I have not. That's how crazy it's been for me. I've been
to,
on my powerful
message
gear hunt,
on
man.
like Wednesday or Thursday and be like, hey, play this like once, maybe twice.
Now, I still haven't touched it. Now, have you touched the finished version? Because you even touched it when it was in Crucible Labs, right?
I don't think I did. I don't remember because I played the very first one, which was like Showdown or something, and that was just kind of like a tweak on Clash with just rounds, like first to 15 kills or something. You do it 3 times. Like that was different. This has got actual objectives to it, and it's kind of double objectives. I played a few rounds. I got smoked in some. We smoked teams in others. There is kind of a weird piece right now because there are 2 objectives. So the way the game mode works, everybody fights over the center point like King of the Hill. But once you have that point, then you start pushing towards your opposing team's like base, and you actually have to cap their point, and that's how you actually win the round. But if you get the middle point and then they defend theirs for the final amount of time, you completely lose that round. So you still got halfway, but you don't get anything for it. And somehow I feel like that doesn't quite be equivalent in points. I think it should be potentially like, up to a certain number of points. If you get the middle point, maybe 1 point. Then if you get their, like they call it a vault, if you cap their vault, then that should be 2. But if you go 1 and 1, it should be a draw of some point because you nailed the first part. And I was on one map where we were playing back and forth for time, and we literally neither capped the first one.
Wow.
So like that middle point, you can fight because it takes a long time to capture. And if you get 3/4 through the capture and they step on it, they literally have to like retract your capture time and then go all the way through theirs. So it's a slow process as you go through that middle point. Then once you finally have that one, you have a little closer spawn to push. But on the other side, say you go in and you've got you have 2 people on a super or something like that. If you both throw hammers, you kill their team, you stand on the point. These respawn times are so long in this thing, you can't get back and defend it fast enough. So it's literally both sides that it definitely, I feel like, needs some tweaks. But personally, I really wish this was going to both quick play and competitive because I hate that it's just going to dive in competitive and I'm hardly ever going to see it again.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. I forget that it's a competitive, technically exclusive mode once it breaks out of this little spotlight. So yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I'm definitely going to try it after I get all my powerful gear for the week. But but I would definitely try. I think what they need to do, if they were smart, they really want people to get in that mode, is kind of tie it to a quest that you could get powerful gear by attempting a couple of matches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's, to me, that's a brain, like it's so intelligent that they did that with Forest Gambit. That forces me to play Gambit
exactly
every week.
Keeps people in it. Yep.
Powerful gear, check. I'm in. That's the new wave now with this type of grind. Soon as you see on your screen that gold star and powerful gear,
I'm going. Where am I going? I'm going. Yeah.
I've been doing heroic adventures. I've been doing heroic adventures since Curse of Osiris.
I did one with a buddy of mine. He's like, "What is this? Is this?" I was like, "I don't remember this mission." I was like, "It's an adventure," and I was like, after doing all the. I'm trying to figure out what they're called. The solstice gear, because we did so like 30 different adventures. I've done most of them now. He was like, "What is this?" I was like, "It's an adventure." He's like, "Oh, I didn't make these before." And they've given you a reason to see them now because those adventures seem to change every day. So even if you don't do it on the first day, if the reset clicks over, but it's not like the heroic tick like every 4, they'll still change the adventure.
Yep.
Same thing when it was on Tangled Shore last week. It was a different Baron, like every day, basically. I
Pretty
saw the
much.
Rider, I saw the Rifleman, a couple different ones in there that it would cycle through. And you're like, hey, just depending on the day you jump in, might be something different. So that was cool.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it'd be kind of nice for them to have that weekly featured playlist get a little more hype to it.
Yes.
So it's like you got Supremacy, you'll have a couple things rotate through there and to make people go play that little mode for just a little bit, or just give them incentive to try something a little different than just your basic quick play. Give you like just hey, 2 matches in this, a piece of powerful gear. It's all in that one light level bump anyway. Some of those aren't even doing that much for me at some point, but it's still a way, just that incentive to get people in. So you don't have to, but it'd be an option to get more in there.
Yep, you got it, man. I'm with you.
Yeah, so I do actually like that for giving incentive for that weekly featured. I just wish this thing wasn't going to go hide in competitive, because we could use another. I mean, quick play. I mean, Control and Clash are cool in quick play. I mean, they're easy matches, stuff like that. But we still need some more variety in there. I hope these maps are more in quick play. I feel like I don't know if I've seen them yet. I don't even know if they're going to be, because they're built for Breakthrough.
Yeah.
And I'd hate to see I played Breakthrough on Bannerfall, which was weird, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, B point was the middle vault, and then the other 2 sides were exactly where you picture them to be. So you had the 2 rooms. But I mean, picture the spawn locations. If they're standing there and you spawn in your back corner of your base, you still just jump up on the ledge, run in there. And by the time 2 or 3 are sitting on the base, if 1 or 2 sitting on the walls and 1 standing on the vault, you cannot hardly get in there and kick them off of it in time. So that's the spawn points. Like if you're on defense, make that harder, because it's like 2.5 minutes that you have to defend it. Make it a worthwhile fight.
Yeah, no, I agree. I completely agree. I mean, I gotta try this. I gotta try this mode.
Yeah, you gotta let me know once you play it, because I'll kind of be curious your thoughts.
Absolutely.
Like respawn times in the middle and then the far one, things like that. But I just do hope we get to see more of these vaults, because some of them look really cool. One's from like the kind of Trials of the 9 world, that weird kind of funky stuff that we had one map from before. And I've only played a couple different maps. I keep seeing the same 2. There's like 2 I haven't even touched yet for Breakthrough. So, but they look cool. I just hope we get to see those. But all in all, Breakthrough is kind of an interesting concept. It's an objective mode, and I just feel we need more of those. And it's kind of an interesting, like, double objective, kind of like, I'm trying to think of the Battlefield mode, where it's like you get one part and then you kind of push back to like the next phase of like
almost like a conquest, or
yeah, kind of like that. So you do the middle and then you do like the defense if you get pushed back. But it's like, instead of conquest where you're always on defense, you start with the King of the Hill and then it's defense or offense. So it's kind of a split of both.
I got you.
But yeah, it's an interesting one. If you guys haven't checked it out, play a couple matches. Let us know, comment stuff later on, see what you guys think about the mode, and just leave some feedback to Bungie. Just make it constructive. Don't be a turd about feedback. But I mean, shout out to Cosmo and Dylan. Those guys actually, that's their whole purpose. So be like, hey, this is their thoughts. They're even out there asking Cosmos, like, what are your thoughts on Breakthrough so far? They ask. Go find that tweet, reply. They read that stuff. That is their whole job. So yeah, definitely give them just decent thoughts on it, whether it's good, bad, or otherwise.
Agreed.
All right, we got a big topic. This is one we didn't get to last week because we ran out of time. So these wonderful little it's probably the most high def image we're ever going to get on Masterwork Core, which I guess will now be Course. I don't even know.
Let's get it.
First, before we actually dive into this, what are your thoughts on Masterwork Cores as they currently stand?
There needs to be some adjustment. There's definitely needs to be adjustment, because here's the thing. As a hardcore Destiny player, as a person who prepared for Forsaken, during, the Warmind prep phase, basically I kept a lot of stuff in my vault, right? I kept Masterworks in my vault. I was completely unsure how the meta was going to swing either way. I saved tokens with shacks. I mean, I went through a systematic process of holding on to things because didn't know how the meta was going to change, didn't know what weapons would be effective. I knew random rolls and all that stuff was coming, but I always figured that, hey, some of these god roll, D2 weapons, aka the Nameless Midnight, I had Masterwork, Better Devils, I had Masterwork, some Iron Banner gear sets, you name it, I kept it, right? So while Forsaken launches, I start playing. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'm like, got my first, highlight drop. I'm like, all right, let's get the Infusion. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'm like, whoa, what's this requiring 2 core thing? And besides the requiring the core, I was like, Infusion ain't cheap. Like,
No.
you know, they're asking for a good amount of glimmer. They're asking for a good amount of legendary shards. And I'm like, okay, they want Infusion to have weight. I didn't have a problem with that,
Yeah.
honestly, initially. But as it went on, it got to the point because, again, to be speaking to my situation, right? I'm the type of person that when it comes to hard content and I'm trying to do stuff that's under level because the grind and Forsaken is hard. So
Mhm.
I was very under level and I'm like, you know what? I can't be going through the game without my sleeper simulant and my escalation protocol shotgun. Those two weapons did not leave my energy, did not leave my power. Whenever anything of significance came that way, whether it be at least from a 3 to 5 point light jump, those bad boys were getting infused. After about getting to about 500 light, my material's getting low, bro. I'm like, it got to the
You
point,
infused it during the story and like up to 500.
bro. I was almost through. It was I was going through them at an alarming rate, and I wasn't doing it for just like one light level bump. I was
I
doing it for
know,
like
but I was like, the story is not going to be where you need to start doing that.
I know, but the problem was we were still under leveled. I was getting unlucky. You know how it is when you get
Oh
unlucky,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and you know what I'm
First time
saying.
I
You
went
just
to the campaign, I did it solo, and I fought that 460 final fight at like 443. That was a struggle
yes,
bus.
it
That
was a
was hard.
struggle, but I had no business in there fighting whoever I was fighting. You know? So I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh man, this is not good. The only thing that saved me is I'm running Well of Radiance. You know, I got some competent teammates, but for the most part, I was severely underleveled. I wasn't getting lucky with the drops for Infusion, so you know it was becoming a problem. And then, like I said, as you go through now the 530s and you're growing and growing on, cause I'm like, I need cause. I'm going to Spider, and then we find out the hustle of the Spider.
Yeah.
You know, you go to them, it's $10, $20,
Got that double. Got
$40.
that double.
I'm like, bro, like it's getting out of control. So I'm like, all right. And you know, with extensive playtime, I've realized, you know, masterwork core drops are not really happening. Like rarely you'll break down legendary, you get one. Rarely you'll get that. What is it called? Master something weave, where
Yeah,
it's
Masterwork Wave
consumable.
or something like that.
Yeah, rarely I got that. And it started. Let me tell you how
I
bad it
think I
got.
have two of those. I haven't even clicked them yet.
Exactly. You need, yeah, those you
Two.
need.
I have three finest matter weave, and I'm like, yep, that's that. But it literally is worth what, 3 cores?
Yeah, three
Literally,
cores
that's
because
gonna
they're
be
just gonna
worth like, and
one
I've had
drop.
3 of those in I don't even know how many hours of playing. Got to be 100. I've had 3.
Mad hours of playing, and I'm like, okay. So you know what? Let me tell you how bad it got me. Your boy had to start making trips to the ATM. That's how bad it is. I started going to my vault and saying,
What can you break down?
Better Devils. Looks like there's random rolls, and now that there's a collection system, I can always get you back later. Breakdown for core, breakdown for core. I literally went through everything, and nothing was sacred. Raid weapons. I was like, look, man, I could get you back, Zenith. Zenith of your kind. I can get you back.
Yeah.
In all girly dress. I can get you back. I need them cores, man. Like it's the core grind. Like I feel bad for a person who infused like me, who didn't have any of this backlog of immense legendary weapons and stuff that's in their vault chilling. If you have to play, let's just say, put it this way: put yourself in a player who just picked up
So
Forsaken.
I was gonna say, yeah, the Forsaken collection went through all 3 stories, and they jump into Forsaken. They have no backups, and they have no materials anyway.
Dude,
They have like 0. Like
yeah.
I literally have not like acquired outside of, as you said, random drops. But I mean, unless you
Mhm.
broke down a masterwork that you had,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get that. You'll have like a couple.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
would not have enough.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm with you, and I feel bad because I'm like, if I'm struggling, what is a guy who did, like you said, who's in that situation doing? How is he able to level up? And that's when I realized, yeah, as much as I like that Infusion is a choice, and you have to make it tough,
Yeah.
it did scale. I think they made the mistake of assuming most of the base is the hardcore base that's come along with them. You know what I'm saying? And that may have this vault that can do some things to kind of offset. But yeah, it has to get tweaked. So seeing these updates that we're about to get into, really, I'm impressed. We'll get first. You get into it, and then as far as your experience with it, because you asked me the question, I asked you the question. How do you feel about it? And then we'll get into what they are now about to do.
Oh, I'm the same way, but I've been very stingy. I haven't leveled anything up. I've literally just been playing as somebody would with the drops I've got.
Got
Whether
you.
it's a snipey here, whether it's 40,000 edge transits, whatever.
God
I
bless
actually
you.
don't
God
mind
bless you.
the grenade launcher because I've
Oh
been
no, they're
running with
good.
it so
Grenade
much.
launchers are good.
Grenade
Yeah, I agree.
launcher's in a pretty good spot, so it's like it's
Mhm.
okay that I've got 50 of them. But um,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, you picture yourself because me right now, as I've been stingy as hell, I've leveled a couple things up here and there. I'll occasionally go like, okay, I see something that has a pretty good roll in range, and I have some
Mhm.
cores. I may dump one into it. I have
Yeah.
197 cores,
Mm-hmm.
so
God
I've been
bless you.
saving
You
because I
you you've
haven't.
been more than saving.
I've been
You
hoarding. I've been hoarding.
exactly.
But that's kind of one of those things. Like, picture myself not walking in with about 180. I've thrown a few here. I've got a few back. I've gone through and broken down most. I've got a couple other masterworks I might break down. But I was like, if I didn't have all that crap I broke down in the first place, I would
Mm-hmm.
have squat. And
Yep.
that is a problem to me because there has been no obvious way to earn them. There are bounties
Exactly.
to do tokens out of my butt. There's
Mm-hmm.
world materials. Spider does these things. Zur
Yep.
is a useless cloaked guy up in a tree.
Glad you brought him up because that's what broke my heart when last week's Zur. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I figured for sure. I was like, Bungie's not stupid. They're probably going to treat him like the strange coins things. They're going to maybe give him bounties because everything in the game had bounties to that point. So I'm like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Zur will have to have. And when I seen Zur show up with old exotics and no nothing special, just that, not even the faded engram, not that I cared about that, not even the three of coins, not that I cared about that, but just to see him so barren, he's just like, I'm like, really, dude? Like, you didn't come out here with nothing. So, yeah, back to your point on sir, I was very surprised at that. So, it's one of those things that, like you said, not having a definitive resource to get them really puts a damper on Infusion.
Yeah. Well, here's the other piece. Do you even think they should be part of Infusion?
No,
Like, at all? Yeah.
probably not. Probably not. I do like the thought process though. I'm gonna be honest. I do like what they
And I
were
understand
trying to
the
do.
theory,
Right.
like, but I don't think there's already so much crap we have to manage and bounties and
Right.
other things.
Right.
And now we might get a couple more bounties. There's a point where my bounties are full. My pursuits can get
Yeah.
full. Either give me another page, give me a place to work on stuff. Because if I'm holding on to some, saved a couple from a previous day, finished a couple clan bounties that I'm not going to turn in because I'm already done with those for the week, and I'll just save them for next week.
Right.
All of those, it's like one. Like I might be able to fit one in here or there, but
Mhm.
Infusion is meant to be like masterworking should be that, and that's where we get into the whole name thought about it.
Yeah.
And I know they wanted people like as you go through to like be a little more. But I mean, yeah, shout out to Paul Tassi. He said it pretty well. I was reading his article recently, and he was basically saying it's like, so you have the hardcore people that had enough materials that it really didn't matter that much anyway. They did the raid, they masterworked what they needed to, and they were as high as they could be. Then you have the middle person like you and me, whether I hoarded them or whether you didn't. We've had some, but we're getting to the point where it's like, crap, I'm basically to the point of they're too hard to come by, so I'm afraid to use them. Or if I use them all, I have no way to get any back.
Exactly.
And then you have the people who are fresh to the game. They got it free on PlayStation. They may have bought Forsaken for $40. And now they're just like, what the hell do I do now? Like, I can't get these things, but it's this, and it's that piece of frustration just to even level up your gear, be like, hey, I got 1,000 different rolls. Well, okay, if I'm going to go run in Iron Banner where power matters, but I don't want to spend it just for a week of something when I'm probably going to get another roll later on. You take the incentive out of leveling yourself up. So you're like, well, I guess I'm just running at a disadvantage, and that shouldn't be. I can go grind out, world materials, legendary shards. If you're playing and breaking stuff down and doing your bounties and doing your chests and doing public events, you're going to get an acquisition of those.
Right.
Take the cores out of that. It's one more thing we don't need. And unless they just start throwing a lot of them at us, just so we can have the chance for Infusion and Masterworking, which I haven't touched yet. It's just too much.
Which is what I agree with you. I'm not on the side where you are, where I'm upset that they exist. My whole thing is the second part of what you said, which is
they should just be from Masterworking.
Well, if that's the case, yes, because of the terminology, I agree with that. But I'm talking about being that we're going to get into it. They're going to change the name. But what I'm saying is this. Where the unbalance lies is the fact that, like you said, when you need planetary materials, right? For
Yep.
your gun, you go to Devon K, you get your bounties for dust like shards. There is no equivalent for masterwork
Right.
course currently.
Yeah, it's just a
That's the
lacking.
problem. Yeah, it's a discrepancy, it's a disparity. Every other place, if I need all these other planetary materials, there's a place, there's a vendor, and he even has bounties that gives me bushels of 10, right?
Yep.
Where's my bushels of 10 masterwork cores, right?
Yeah.
You know what I learned where the bushel of 10 actually lies? And it's not even something that is consistent. It's actually I grinded Crucible when it was what, triple XP recently.
Yeah.
Did all that because I'm on my regiment grind, baby. Oh, I'm doing so well. I'm up to the double kills part. I'm almost finished with that. I'm
Nice.
grinding. I got 250 pulse. I'm a beast in the crew. Did you see my clip on Twitter, by the way? 17 kills, yeah. 17
Oh,
17
nice.
efficiency. 7 kills in a row. Oh man, I'm doing some things out here. Just to let you know, I'm bragging. Pull my chest out. Void lock forever. But anyway, all jokes aside,
All right, that's a side.
I had to do it. I had to do it. Like I'm gonna tell you right now, they gonna ban Tangent. They're gonna ban that void lock in a minute. I'm putting it out there. That void lock, once you master it and you unlock that full tree, when you get that poof and you get your health back, then you hold down and you kill multiple people with the supernova, that's gonna get. I know, bunch people are gonna start complaining because the things that I'm doing is criminal. It's criminal to people. And I've never been this good. I mean, I'm good. I'm above average in sixes. I would say, no, I say I'm good in sixes. I wouldn't say I'm average and competitive in fours. In sixes, I've always been strong. But
Yeah.
what I'm doing now is like put me in the room with who's the top dude? M Tash and them. That's what I'm doing right now. The efficiency. So back to my point. The whole thing is when I'm being that I'm doing so good and I'm leveling up. When I got to Mythic, congratulations, Mythic. And then it was like, boom, like 7 cores, 10 cores. I'm like, whoa, that's what I'm talking about. Now people shouldn't have to do all that, you know what I'm saying, to get it, but they need that equivalent is basically what the whole point of this is. They just need a specific activity, specific vendor, bounties, all these combination of things to get this thing going because it is way too rare and unnecessary to put in as infusion if you don't got the source to get them.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, as you guys can see, we have our opinions about this for sure, and many other people have mentioned this as well. So they asked the investment team to talk about some of their goals with Masterwork cores, exotic drop rates we'll get to in a little bit.
Right.
They said they've been monitoring the community's feedback concerning Masterwork cores, a quick breakdown on their design of cores. So, goals for adding Masterwork cores to Infusion costs. Make Infusion and Masterworking a meaningful choice. I don't mind that, at least in theory. Unfortunately, just the balance of it is broken. Infusion and Masterwork should not be mutually exclusive. Now, that to me is weird.
Yeah, because they're also saying I wouldn't say it's a contradiction, but it does seem weird that the first sentence would say meaningful choice between both, and then the second should say should that be mutually exclusive. It's a little bit of a contradiction there.
I mean, so you're gonna make me spend cores. You're gonna make me spend this currency just to level the gun up to a certain light level. Then you're gonna make me spend cores to make me, work on, say, this role has like, hey, I've got it better devils with explosive rounds and outlaw and stability. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna masterwork it, spend it for this. Now I don't know if you break it down if you get every single piece back. I'm not sure.
Right.
But if you do level up, and then what if I get one with range with those exact same perks? I'm like, well, crap, I want the range.
Right. Absolutely.
And where do you turn around? It's like, then do I have to infuse that one up, spin course? That's some I'm already down. And then depending on the efficiency of breaking the one you masterwork down to get some back, you're always like, the infusion piece shouldn't be there. Like, if you're going to spend your money on masterworking, you better love that gun. That I totally understand.
Yes.
Masterworking should be a meaningful choice. Don't masterwork, like, you spend one, get that thing up to like rank 4. It's only one, have a toy with it before you spend all your cores.
Right.
But in getting something up to your level when you're already up there, and if it's a drop you got a while ago, whether you bump it a lot or you bump it a little, I know they're wanting you to play with some of the guns you've got, but take the damn cores out of the infusion, to me.
Right. I think what they're saying is that, I think I understand the sentence now. When you read the next sentence, it kind of, read the next, because basically what the next sentence says, I think, is why they said what they said.
Yeah.
So let's get into
problems with the current Masterwork core economy. Masterwork cores have a misleading name, which is the main thing we kept talking about, basically touching on. Apparently, they're thinking of these things just as like cores.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe it could just be gear cores if you wanted to call it that.
Right.
Armor, weapons, whatever. When they were created, the definition of the pinnacle item put the emphasis on entirely masterworking. That is literally all they ever did before.
Right.
So now, as this has come into Infusion, they said they expanded that definition Forsaken, but didn't update the currency. There are not enough reliable sources to earn masterwork cores, which can make deciding to spend on what to spend them on too difficult. Somebody like me, I spend none.
Yeah,
I
wish I had that willpower.
That tier 10 on anything. I don't have a tier 10 unless it was a drop you get. Plans for addressing these problems. We have been monitoring core supplies. The numbers aren't as high as we'd like. We're planning to create more reliable and plentiful core sources. We're going to rename masterwork cores so their purpose is more obvious.
Yeah, I think, listen, I think this is a great update. I mean, listen, we're all bitching right now, and I get it, and then rightfully so. But I think this is cool. I think that, to me, when I read this, they're jumping ahead of it. They're letting us know what their intention. What I like what they're doing is they're letting us know their thought process, why they did what they did. Then they're saying, okay, this is the feedback we got from you guys, and now based on this, we're doing. I think this is AKA new Bungie. See, old Bungie doesn't do these paragraphs, right? New Bungie says, this is what we did, this is why we did it, this is why we think it was wrong, this is what you said, this is now what we're gonna do. Love it. Love it, because this is quick, concise, get to the point. And the addressing the problem is, they were named incorrectly. They shouldn't be mutually exclusive. And if you're going to make this thing a requirement, give us more subsources, give us more numbers. They're seeing the numbers. I like that. So I'm cool. I'm loving that. This is me personally. How are you? Like, are you like, too little, too late? They're waiting too long. It's too stupid. It was stupid to begin with. Where are you with this whole thing?
A little of all. I mean, a little of both. A little of the couple phrases you said at the end where I'm like, so just like some other times I feel like they've done in expansions where like, hey, we're going to set this up so you have to blow through whatever currency you currently have. So then it's going to kind of be an equalizer for people either coming in or not. Well, you have the people who probably have like 500 masterwork cores. They do the raid. They have plenty of stuff. They're still okay. You have the people in the middle ground who may have had like 50. They infused a couple of things, crap them out. I can't get any more.
Right.
And now they're coming to this thing later on. Some people may have been a little frustrated with. There's been enough good things that I don't think people have bailed on account of just this alone. But this has been one of the biggest points of contention.
Right.
That was probably pretty obvious from the beginning, and I don't think was ever required. I don't think they ever should have done it in the first place. I don't think
we on different sides of the fence. Interesting. Okay.
But like to me, I don't think the cores ever needed to be an Infusion. Making Masterworks more difficult and like the currency not being high, they can see that later. And maybe you don't have a level 10 Masterwork on, all your guns immediately. And that's going to be something they fix later. But just bringing stuff up in light level just to be able to play with all the 14,000 rolls that we have is one of those things I don't think they should have done in the first place. So to me, that's just my opinion of kind of an oversight and playing more towards... Hold on, Billy the Kid. When you guys on the podcast, you sit on the toilet and think about us.
Oh, Billy the Kid.
Billy the Kid, you literally broke me mid sentence. I'm gonna have to read this out loud because I'm not even sure I get it. When you guys on the podcast poop, I'm not sure where that's going. Okay. You sit on the toilet and think about how awesome the podcast is and makes you feel that good. Well, I don't listen to this podcast over and over. So I'm not going to just stroke my own ego. But where I listen to the podcast, where I listen to the podcast is like, who knows?
Listen, the man says
you guys enjoy the podcast. So if you guys enjoy it, you can pass your time. Great.
Listen, the man's enjoying it. Salute Billy the Kid. At the end of the day, listen, as long as you appreciate the content and give us that compliment in whatever form that may, whatever it was just now.
Yeah, whatever that means. Hey, if we can pass your time, whether it's, walking your dogs or taking a dump, it's up to you.
It's up to you, bro. But back on track.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was like, I'm glad they're making the changes. I'm glad they have acknowledged it. As you said, this is new Bungie. This is something we may not have seen for a while. This is something they may have waited longer on the data, made the 0.01% damage changes. Like that type of stuff was before. Right. And I do like that they are trying. I know we're 3 weeks in. So, I mean, it does take them time to get to some fixes and check data and see where things settle. And sometimes people could jump the gun and it could be something too quick. But in turn, I could probably have told you this from pretty early on when looking at those costs of both Infusion and how much for Masterworks and me. I was even sitting at 180 basically going in. And I was like, I'm not going to touch these things because I don't know where I'm going to get them. And as much as they were going to cost, I was like, hey, let's see what rolls I get. And then as I kept playing through, just even go through the story, I was like, I got 0 through the entire story, got to the Dreaming City. Like, technically, I could have gone through like 20 hours of playing, seen 0 masterwork cores, and some new person could be like, how the hell do I do this? I've got none yet. Like 0. Like, so there's a point where if you just play through and there was some testing involved to be like, hey, I've played 20 hours. Do you have any masterwork cores as a fresh new character? No. Okay, that should have been one of those pieces where they saw it as a problem. So I think earlier reaction or just better testing to say, hey, this is one of those pieces somewhere there needs to be half one, 6 of one, half dozen another, a way to it, whatever. Something needed to probably been seen sooner. But that's my opinion. But I am glad they are addressing and giving us some options. What would you like to see is giving us options? I know you mentioned like Zer bounties, I think would be cool. Give him something to do over the weekend.
Right.
What else? I mean, where do you think this fits? Where do you think Masterwork cores can fit outside of Spider work in the casino gambling?
Hustling. Yeah, like I said, obviously Zer to me is number 1 if they want to keep rarity. But the vibe I'm getting is now, they may go multiple sources, so it can't be just him. I'm thinking maybe the gunsmith. Right now, he doesn't have a lot going on. It's about leveling your gun, you know what I'm saying? So in armor, so let's make him more viable. We can do something with him. He doesn't have bounties currently. The only thing he's doing right now is offering just the mods that change up, so that to me, he's the viable pick I see, for doing stuff. And just back to my point, I know we're on a different side of the fence with this, and everything you're saying, you're not incorrect. I get where you're coming from. I guess for me, I just liked it because, it did make a choice. It did make me say, okay, which out of these weapons that I've been using that I've just acquired do I like? And I had to make a commitment. I had to get a relationship. I was saying, okay, come on, go figure. This is going to be me and you. You know what I'm saying? Come on, such and such gun. I like this. It's a nice roll, whatever. Now, I agree with the part that you said where if you get multiple rolls of really good things, it sucks, because you don't have the cores. Then, you kind of just taking whatever the highest light. And you don't get a chance to experience these things because things are at lower light sometimes when you get them or, whatever. So I get that. But I do like the aspect because here's the big picture. Reason why I like it is, let's be real, E. If that didn't exist and all us hardcore players, we're going to do every powerful gear on that map. We are going to level up and blaze through the content. I think this is their way of kind of cooling the hardcore a little bit because we're out of control. We're going to do every single drop on that map in like 3 days after reset. We're going to be 600 in no time. See, that's my thing. My thing is, I don't
think it levels you up though. So that's not the point. It doesn't give you a higher level. It lets you experience your guns as you level up. That's my difference.
Wait, you're talking about
when I'm talking about
Infusion.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I got my Zen moment full auto go figure at 500. Okay. So I level up, keep going through. It starts to fall back. Do I keep infusing it? Say I'm okay. I want this is like the average player.
Yeah, go for it.
Somebody has maybe 3 cores because they got lucky.
Right.
Are they going to spend those 3 cores that they have a limited resource on when they're like, hey, I'm up to 520? Well, I'm just going to keep using this 500 piece of gear and I'm starting to fight stuff that's like 540, 550. I'm walking around the Dreaming City.
Right.
No, I'm going to use what's there. Then they can't actually use that gun. It does make them do other things, but it's like, why, if you want to make something an epic version of what you've got, that's where I think that limited resource makes sense, and that I have no problem with. And getting some bounties in there for limited options. But if I have something that's 500, but it's a good roll, and I get 6 other go figures that, okay, so I got one that drops at 530 now, but this one sucks in comparison.
Right.
I want to go use the other one.
Right.
Okay. So it's just those pieces. I don't think.
See, that's where we differ.
No, that's where I think you think you're a hardcore. You're not 600 and people are 600. Those are the hardcore people. You and I are far from casual is what I would call
Right.
it. We play a boatload, but we are not like the people who beat the raid on the first weekend or even this week at all. And there's a point of those are the people where the currency has never been an issue for them because they already streamed for 6,000 hours last year and they have a boatload of cores.
Absolutely.
So like when you go from us and then you go anywhere below, like the pretty reasonable,
it's a huge problem.
Where a problem, and that's the point where you have to take the full aspect of players, and the majority of them are below us.
Right. And I'm with you on that. All I'm saying, and we both agree that there should be more sources for cores.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I don't want to get rid of cores because I still like the idea of a choice being made between what you have to select. Because if there's no cores, then infuse all the way up as you level, you're going to get to max level much faster. I like the idea of having ownership of something that I feel is a great role. Or if there's something new that comes along, then I make that choice per gun, per armor, or what have you. It's just a philosophy difference. I mean,
no, but what I'm saying is it doesn't level you up any faster. It doesn't make your light grow any quicker.
If there's no cores, there are. If there's no cores, anything is getting infused into anything, and you're going to get to max light. That's just the fact.
No, but as long as you have that gun somewhere in your vault, basically it's still going to account for your light level. It doesn't matter if you're using it or infusing it or not. It's just the fact that your lower level gun that you want to use, you're not going to use. You just have an empty gun sitting there just for a light level. It's not going to make you, infusion's not going to make you level up any faster. That's what I'm trying to get at. Explain to me how it will. Because seriously, like if I'm going to go through and say like, okay,
let me tell you why. Because look at me. We not gonna agree on this one, but I'm just explain my side. Remember what I said. My favorite loadout, escalation protocol shotgun, which in my opinion is best at that class in that energy spot, and sleeper in my opinion, which is if I focus on the two best weapons, I'm going to. If I have the best quality rolls and the best weapons, and I just load those up, I can go through content severely underleveled. That's what I'm trying to say. Like there's still guns that even though they're not the higher light, they're still going to be effective because of the roll. The roll's dominant. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So I see the thought process of what they're trying to do is all I'm saying is trying to throttle us a little bit because it will get out of control and we might get through the content. That's all I'm saying. But I hear what you're saying. In theory, yeah, like the other higher light gun, you just throw that joint on and you're good to go. So I get it. I just understand what they were trying to do is what I'm saying.
Fair enough. Well,
fair enough.
Coming from different perspectives, but yeah, it's like your drops are not going to change in Infusion. Can you do some content a little bit easier with sleeper coming up the whole time? Yes, you can.
13 shots.
No, I'm not saying yes, you can. But also on the other side, it's like you're not going to change the number. That's going to work for some things, but you're still your weeklies, your dailies, things like that. You can do it with any gun. I've done it all. So the only thing that's going to help you with is like, what'd you get through? One raid boss?
Nah, I can do it. Like I said,
I've done everything else that you've done except that raid boss.
Dude, I've done it. I can do a lot with that loadout. It's criminal what I'm doing.
I know, but I'm just saying.
We'll move on. But like we both agree something has to be changed.
Yes.
We both agree there's not enough.
Sorry, guys, for the long tangent.
No, this is good. We haven't fought in a while. This is good. So it's like, look, we both agree that it's still flawed, right? And it's still have to fix it. Yeah. So this is cool. I like they're addressing it. You like that they're addressing it. You want them gone. I want them to stay. But at the end of the day, something at least in the short term is going to get done. Snaldo, what up?
Yep. So, so this is one of the big ones, obviously, Masterwork cores, Infusion, Masterworking, all that stuff. Like, I don't even Masterwork armor right now. And that's one thing Tassie did actually say too. Shout out to him. I've not Masterworked one piece of armor yet. And that's a piece where the cores in Infusion is one piece, because then you're going to try and Masterwork, hey, I get a good roll on this piece of armor. It's linear fusion scavenger, linear fusion reserves. That's something you would probably live for since that's all you've had.
Speaking my language.
But for what if for you, oh, hold on. Yeah. So Zenzel Gaming, that's just literally on Bungie.net. That's all I'm looking at is their weekly update.
Cool.
Is the point where armor I haven't touched because I know I'm already going to get something else. I'm going to get another roll over and over and over. And it's like, so then the point of just trying to bring armor along with you, then you're not even talking about weapons. You're trying to bring the armor rolls that, you know, all of those pieces. It's just like an exacerbation of the same thing, but
Welcome to my
armor,
world.
you're going to get 6,000 more rolls of, and it's just kind of tough to kind of keep up with it. So we know more are going to come. Yeah, we know more are going to come, but it's like if you get a roll with like linear fusion reserves, you're like, well, crap, I have to hold on to this thing forever. Infuse. And put yourself as somebody who's brand new. Be like, hey, I have a linear fusion rifle. I did the Mars story. Here's Sleeper Simulant. Like, I have no cores. Just picture yourself in the shoes of someone who has no cores.
Yes.
So that's the problem where I don't think you could enjoy that role up through, but you couldn't masterwork that armor without the cores, and masterwork would be a piece, but you could use the. So it's like we
both agree that underneath what you said, you said the perfect statement. The raid guys, the first day raid guys, and then there's us, right? Anyone under us, and this system screws them. Like they're not going to have the cores. They're not going to have anything. So in that case, I do agree with you. You got to think of the whole. They have to address it because those guys are screwed. They're not. They don't have anything to put into anything. They have to take whatever's coming their way. You see what I'm saying? So I get it. I completely get that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, random question, chat. Since before I get to another topic and roll a little farther, OMG, it's cool. What do you guys? He's asking, what do you guys think about the Wish Ender Exotic Quest and how it's behind every 3-week cycle on being able to access the mission that allows you to get it? We kind of touched on it earlier, but like just generally, like an exotic being tied behind a 3-week time gated thing. And just also that dungeon basically coming up only every 3 weeks for you to get the Wish Ender, for you to get the high level gear, stuff like that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I think we touched on it. Listen, I don't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? I sound like I'm the I don't have a problem with it guy lately. But
you're the Bungie.
Yeah, I'm the apologist. I'm the Bungie apologist today. Yeah, just I guess for me, it doesn't bother me if I can't get something on day one. I'm going to get it. Like, that's just how my mentality is. And it just, unless it's something, I don't know, they would have to, I don't really think there's any particular thing, what I'm saying, that if it comes out and it's great and it's awesome, even like, there's a lot of things I didn't have day one. A lot of things. I wanted Sleeper day one. I didn't get it. You know what I want right now?
I didn't get that for way too long.
Exactly. You know what I want right now? Worse than anything? Forget,
I probably can't guess it.
It's you're gonna laugh. The Super Similar Catalyst. I literally got a raid team together and we were doing Spire. We got up to the final part with Calor. You know what I'm saying? And it was a new raid team, and we're just trying to teach everybody because at least we were over leveled trying to do it. You know what I'm saying? So now it's just a matter of doing mechanics. So that's something I want bad, right? But I'm like, okay. I looked at the quest steps. I'm like, I don't have all 3 escalation weapons. I got the sniper and I got the shotty. Don't have the SMG, right? Then the Whisper, you got to still max all your stuff out. I still have to finish the other parts of the Whisper Crest by you. You know what I'm saying? As far as maxing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can sell with that thing. I'll show you how.
Just plug my man, Ebontis. What's them view? Give it a few numbers.
Shameless plug.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to hit Ebontis video. I'm going to watch that. So again, I'm sitting there like in my mind, I'm going to get it. It's gonna happen when it happens. And then there's things that come across my way. Like right now, I got this raid auto 10 level 10 tier masterwork.
Did you get like the
God
roll?
You got the masterwork God roll from Bungie. This thing is outstanding. Was I planning on getting that? No, but I'm like, well, okay, it happened. You know what I'm saying? That's how Destiny is to me. So I get it. People are like, hey, I'm not around that week. I get that. That sucks. No doubt. You got to wait 3 weeks. Okay, cool. A person with a busy schedule or they're traveling. I get it. I do have some sympathy for it. I don't think I'm just being ridiculous. But, I really can't sit there and say, yo, y'all got to change this. I'm just not there yet. I'm not at that point where you guys have to, because this is unfair because of this week that y'all doing it, and I'm gonna have to wait till next month or what? I'll wait till 3 weeks or whatever. I mean, that's just me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was like, shout out to the dude in the Iron Lords podcast YouTube chat, by the way. So if you guys are on Twitch, by the way, we're doing this on 2 different places. So thank you guys for being in both. Some of you guys. But I think he said it like, well, just a carrot on the end of the stick. That's something we were missing for a very long time. And
Yes.
the fact that we have those out there, and if I miss it for the week or I'm out, be like, hey, 3 weeks, I'm going to make sure, try and plan for it, make sure I got a little extra time and work on this thing. And while I'm doing that, there's still a crap load of other stuff to do. Say you're up to like 570 and you're like, okay, let's see about working on the raid, or I can work on grinding Gambit until I see the tentacle monster in there so I can get my malfeasance to start. There's other quests that you can do if you haven't done Ace of Spades, if you haven't done Chaperone, if you haven't done Redrick's Claymore. Some of you guys hate PvP, skip Redrick's Claymore, but you'll get your few matches in and you'll work on your powerful gear. Right. And then there may be a point where as you go through, you'll kind of get towards, see, this will be the question. When the grind slows as you get towards the top end, when you're working on the final stuff, when you get close to 600 and you feel like you've kind of done a lot of stuff, then will there be still continued things? Is the timing right to where Forge comes out?
Right.
And this is where I think this cycle helps some of that.
Yes.
I don't think it's them like forcefully time gating things. I think it's more they're giving you options of things to work on. The raid is out there, the dungeon is out there, the ascendant challenges are out there. There's a lot of different things for you to do. You can still work on those ascendant challenges. You can still work on your blind well, your oracle, get your transcendent blessings. You can work on your reverie dawn armor. I mean, I can just literally keep talking right now. So
exactly. No,
for me, the carrots, there's a boatload of them out there right now, and I'm just looking at like a room full of carrots. So
yeah, I mean, I think that you nailed it. I think the issue, I think what's happened now, there are so many carrots, right? There's a ton of carrots. So I'm like, okay, I don't have that one, but guess what? You may be ahead of me here by having Wishender, but guess what? I'm maybe one step away from Redrick's. You see what I'm saying? So you got to pick what, in my opinion, what you value the most. Now, the only defense I see for this case with Wishender is, yes, that it's on a specific cycle. So it's not like Redrick's where I can just do it every day, right? I can just grind. Whereas this is like, okay, only on this weekend or whatever it is, or this week, this reset, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be around. The only argument I would have to say to that is that, I mean, it is a whole week reset. It's not like Whisper in a sense. Remember Whisper, it came around for the weekends, just that short period of the 3 days. You have a week cycle. It's every 3 weeks. Yeah, that sucks. But it's at least a week. So when that week comes, just knock it out. Like, you're not going to be home those weeks too. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to disrespect anybody's schedule, but it's like, you really not going to be around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's not. There's some things that are tougher. Like, you've got Whisper on the weekends alone. If somebody works the weekends, that's going to be a little harder. So, I mean, that one,
right.
Hopefully you get some time on a Sunday or whatever, find some day in there. But as it is for the full weekly reset, you get an option to do this somewhere in there, even if you travel during the week, maybe spend some time on the weekend. If you got family, that's part of being an adult. But all of those pieces, yeah. I mean, to me, I don't mind the cycle because, as I was saying before, if you guys haven't checked, Bife's video actually explains a reason for there being a cycle, and just the fact that there's lore attached to the reason, it's not just an arbitrary BS thing. I mean, you could say it kind of is, but the fact that they actually made lore make it make sense, I was just like, well, crap, I'm not going to argue. It's hard to argue with it when the actual story behind this whole thing actually has a purpose. So I think that for me, on top of everything else of me not being too worried about the time-gated stuff, I think just kind of makes it cool on top of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to answer Billy the Kid's question because I did miss it. I saw you answered in my chat. He says, yeah, do you think the player base will drop a lot by the time Trials come back to where it was when Trials was dead in year one? It's a good question. And like Ibanta said, like Trials is fundamentally broken. I do agree with E. And I think they completely needed a rework, right? So it'll be interesting when it comes back. I'm going to tell you what can guarantee the base to come back, literally mimic Trials of Osiris the way it was. That's just me. When they were at their highest, when it was, I mean, if you're going to go back to the 3-man elimination, you're going to go back to the reses being a little faster, you know what I'm saying? Trial specific maps, that kind of thing. You know, they've got the formula of what was successful, right?
Yeah.
They can easily do it. And to me, what they did with Iron Banner proves to me, like Iron Banner, when it's back to its form of no more 4 or 6 power level map, you see what I'm saying? It's a difference. You know what I'm saying? So just, you've got the formula of what made your mode the most successful mode. And me personally, let's get Osiris back. That's me. You know what I'm saying? Let's really put it back to what it was, because no one cares about this wild, crazy chick with the one sock. That's just me personally. I don't care for that lore. I don't care. It just doesn't seem cool. Osiris needs a a redo. That's my thing. Make him useful. He ain't doing nothing anyway. Brother Vance ain't doing nothing anyway.
Yeah,
So let's
you be
make
chilling.
Mercury relevant. Like, come on, it'd be perfect to put it back to where it was. It was a cool little experiment, but we didn't really get any lore closure with what the hell we were doing with Trials of the Nine. So that's just me. You've got the formula with Iron Banner. You put it back to what it was, lore wise and gameplay wise. Let's do the same for Trials. Let's get our Egyptian gear back. Let's go to Mercury. Let's make it 3-man elimination. Let's put the reses up a little bit. I'm good money at that point, man.
See, I think one way they could actually build hype for it,
Mhm.
put elimination in Crucible Labs and make people freak out.
Yeah.
Like they're like,
Mhm.
are they actually trying this? Is this going to be Trials? What? Like,
Yeah.
when they get a feel for what that mode's going to be, put that crap in Crucible Labs and make that hype train build up again. That's how you're going to get people talking, people thinking about it, people come back to try it. Yeah, I was like, I was never great at Trials in the first place, but the concept behind it, the card, all those things. I mean, it was definitely a hell of a challenge. Like there was one of those that the only time I got there, I straight up got backpack carried 100%.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the only time I made it was with massive help because I am not on the elite Crucible level, but people want that back. And Crucible right now still doesn't feel like you can make those moments, those team shots, those snipes. Like now the rolls are back, which will help. But I still right now I hear competitive is just Telesto.
Right.
A whole different problem.
No, I mean, listen, I can talk about competitive all day. One thing that you just made me remember is the boons, the bounties, that they had stuff in place that even if you weren't the hardcore guy, if you just played a couple of matches, if you did, remember the Brother Vance bounties? Those were so key for the middle to lower level guy who's not going to go to the lighthouse. So they had the, okay, boom, if you got the 5 wins, you're going to get this, you can get something. If you get 7, like they had things to still incentivize people going into the mode where it wasn't just the elite of the elite. And then also the problem back then was the meta sucked when Trials of the Nine. The meta was not good. So now you have a better meta. You know what I'm saying? You put everything back in place. Make it Egyptian. I'm gonna hit up Damage, man. I'm gonna hit up Barrett. I'm hitting them up again, man. That's what we need. We need the Trials that we all loved all the way back. Every aspect of it back in that form. You do that, it can do it, man. I really, because that mode during House of Wolves, when it was a very bad time for Destiny before Taken King. And Trials kept Destiny alive. I don't care what nobody's saying. Those
there wasn't much going on.
Yeah, man. That thing, man, it was people were every weekend and the superhero plays, the clutch reses. I mean, that was a thing. Let's just do it. I know the 4th person sounds nice, but maybe cohesively it just doesn't work. You know what I mean? I don't know,
Like the good people can take 2-on-1, especially with the options they've got now. If you have 4 sitting in a group, that team shooting is still just too fast.
Yeah. Anyway, tangent done. So, thanks, Bill.
But yeah, thank you guys for questions. Keep them coming. That's kind of why we're doing this live, so you guys can be part of this. The next piece, exotic drop rates. Hashtag long point, by the way, guys. It's going to be a lengthy one, so sorry, Cognito, in advance for your sleep.
I'm okay. I'm hype.
Exotic drop rates. Before we jump into just our quick thoughts on these, what are your thoughts on these so far?
I think I'm gonna have to bend the knee. I started off very strong.
You buy you some knee pads.
Look at him throwing insult to injury. All right, here's the deal, man. Look, I started off strong. Like, yo, love that these exotics are not dropping. Love that it's real. Love it, love it, love it. And part of me still does. But I am bending in the sense that, bro, I played so much. I mean, hours I've got. Dude, I still don't have a Forsaken exotic. Not one. And I think the issue, literally, which we'll get into what their solution will be, is I think what I thought was gonna happen was the hard level content would be the sources, right?
Yeah.
And not even those, like the Nightfall's not giving it, it's so literally random, so RNG with the lowest of RNG that it's still not happening. And then when it does happen, I'm like, bro, y'all can't be giving me Soros regime. You can't be giving me duplicates. So the problem is not with the exotic drop rate. I think the issue is the duplication. And I
Yeah.
think the issue is the sources. I think that, if you do one part of the raid, maybe I can get a Forsaken drop once in a while. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I mean, even just a chance from like a raid chest. That used to be the galley chest.
Yes, that's the carrot.
Like they
That
need those little be like, hey, there's a chance in here somebody gets an exotic from this,
yes.
and you start to see some consistency out of this chest seems to have like maybe a higher roll here.
Yes.
I heard somebody even talk about the whole skeleton keys and strike chests. That would be kind of an amazing thing to bring back to a whole different level. Just if you're working on those pieces. Because now I will say, I haven't done that many Nightfalls, but I did 2 of the Sabbath and Song last week. I got 2 duty bounds in the same week. Now, that could just literally be RNGesus shining way down on me. But I was like, I hadn't seen that gun. I hadn't run Nightfalls probably as much as I used to. But the fact that I got 2 in the same week and I probably only ran like 3 Nightfalls, I was like, this is weird, guys. So some of those rolls are there. And I'm with you. I'm torn on this because I like exotics being rare because one drops on what I get.
Yeah.
And you honestly can't say you don't have a Forsaken exotic because you have Ace of Spades. So, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, but let's be real. Like the quest exotics, they don't count in my opinion.
I mean, Ace of Spades, if you're not using that in PvP, you may as well just sit down.
No, I hear you. I mean, I got
just in general, though, I totally understand. Me, I finally got my first piece of exotic Forsaken armor. Now, I have a lot of duplicate weapons. I've got Risk Runner. I've got Huckleberry. I've got Suros. I've got, what else have I seen? I'm trying to think. I got one more. I got another Graviton Lance. Trying to think how, and these are all duplicates of stuff I already had. So I do understand the duplicates. Now, as Infusion is expensive, I've been okay with them dropping because I haven't used this in a while.
No infusion cost.
So there's that little bit of like, okay, fine. There's that little bit of infusion where like, fine, I'll use this because it's something I haven't used in a little while. Graviton actually doesn't have quite the same big appeal as it used to, by the way.
No, I know. Trust me, I know. I play Crucible heavy.
But I have had more drops than you. Now, I do like certain ones to where they are tied to certain things. Do every single wanted bounty you can. Spend time in the Tangled Shore. Get those ghost fragments. Do every single wanted bounty if you want that Lord of Wolves. That's where you get it. That's where I like. There is a place it drops.
Right.
If you're going to grind it out, you've got like 16, I don't even know how many, 14, 16 bounties that you can do. You work through all of those and you don't get it. Well, damn, that's RNG, but that's you making literally content for yourself because I'm trying to grind out this weapon. That's got it, but it does have a specific source as you're talking about.
Right.
Find specific places where Nightfall chest might have a little higher drop, so that's incentive to go even beat your head against it at 540 versus 540, and those Nightfalls hurt. Make those a little bit higher. Make one of the raid chests. I mean, we have the exotic from Riven. I actually really like how that is set up. That's just the way Vex Mythoclast was. That one's pretty cool. And we're going to have these quests that work on, but not all of them are quests. So it's not just stuff. And some are RNGs. So the armor has been sparse. Like I've got more duplicate weapon drops, but for armor for Forsaken, I have had Armamentarium. I got Ashen Wake. So those were my duplicates. But I finally, this week, probably in the past few days, I got Ursa Furiosa.
Oh, good for you, man. That's dope.
So that one gives the whole Sentinel shield a whole new world. Because if you take a buttload of damage, you're done with that when you're about 3/4 back to your super. So I do like how the new exotics can have some effect. Like, I haven't seen reviews on like the Coyote's Path, the Double Dodge. There's ones you just haven't seen reviews on because like nobody has it. But honestly, for me, that's that carrot that's still out there where I'm like, I don't want them to tweak too far back because this is where we say this all the time.
Where you going?
Don't give us too much stuff too soon, or it's going to take it all away, or going to take the desire to want more of it away. And that's my big worry is because if they up that drop rate, they make it too high, too easy to get our hands on it, then it's going to be like, well, I have all the exotics now. There's no point for me trying to do these things.
This is what I'm going to say to that, and I think you're going to be okay. I think you're going to be happy with what I'm about to say. I think we're going to get into what they're going to do, but based on recent history, right? remember people were complaining about escalation protocol weapons not dropping, right? And they were like, "Yep, we see what you're talking about. We're gonna make an adjustment." And it was something like if you didn't have it or you got one, each time you failed, the chance got more higher and higher, right?
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, like since that happened, I was grinding. I've been playing a lot of escalation protocol, to be honest with you.
Yep.
And I got the sniper, but it took a while. And this is after the supposed exotic, but the increase in drop rate.
Yeah.
So I still think in my gut, when we get into what they're gonna do is, I still think me and you as purists, exotic purists, I'll call us that. That's our new tagline. You know what I'm saying? I think we're gonna be okay.
Hashtag shill.
Right, exactly. Punchy shill, the politics. Like, I think we're gonna be okay because escalation protocol, I still ain't got the sniper. You know what I'm saying? But excuse me, the SMG. I got the sniper, but I ain't got the SMG. And I've been playing it a while. So these drop rate, it's not that big of a percentage if you know what I'm saying, based on what they're saying, because I still haven't gotten, I play it a lot. So we'll see. We'll see. But let's get into what they're actually gonna do.
So their goals for exotic drop rates are intended to be meaningful long-term chases, which I am okay with. Finding an exotic should be rare but impactful. Problems are, for the current exotic right now, we're falling short of the impactful part of our goal. There's nothing exciting or powerful about getting your fourth fighting lion when all you really want is a two-tailed fox. We plan on increasing the chance for exotics to drop something you don't already have. Now, they do say that not going to take away the chance for you to get duplicates. It's just saying they're going to increase the chance for, increase the weight of something newer. So it's not going to be like a faded engram, a guarantee.
Right.
But likely you're not going to see 10 old exotics before you might see one new one. Maybe it's like 3 before you see a new one. So if they don't overdo it too much, and again, I like this is where some of these communications are coming in.
Yes.
Because if they say, hey, we do want them to be carrots. Gallahorn was a carrot for a damn year, and that's what made some of Destiny's grind so great.
Yes.
It took me forever to get mine, but when I finally got it, it was everybody's hell yeah. I mean, there are videos literally about the Gallahorn hell yeah moments. Those don't happen now as much because half the time I feel like the big hell yeahs are either from quests or a specific one. I don't know what the drop rate is like for 1,000 voices, but I feel like I've seen enough out there that it's not like as like unicornish as it might have been. But in general, I'd like to see, a little baby buff, but I don't want to see it too much because, like me, I've probably had better RNG just because I've had a decent amount of exotics drop, and I have gotten probably 2 or 3. I got Black Talon. My first exotic actually in all of Forsaken was that damn sword, Black Talon.
Yeah, nice.
But it's 510, and I haven't infused it and used it in forever. I totally forgot I still had the damn thing. So, generally for me, I've probably been luckier than some. But I've also seen a whole lot of year 1 exotics. And while that may help somebody who's newer coming in because they're getting stuff they haven't seen, the people who have been around for a while, they're missing out on that. So tweaking it somewhat so you get some of the newer ones, even if they are rare, lean towards the newer ones if you've got all the old ones. That I'm okay with.
Right.
It's not like don't have me start setting a checklist every like 2 drops so I have these things in like a month. I don't want them all coming in a month.
And that was
carrot dangle a little bit.
Yeah, that was the problem with D2. We got the launch of D2. We got them all fairly fast. I literally in the first 2 to 3 weeks, and 2 weeks it was just like, you start eventually you were swimming in them, and it just had no weight, no relevance. And like you said, there's something to be said about dudes were making those galley videos, and people just, you're like, man, I find like I don't want like 2 things that I want, the Warlock chess piece, I forget the name, the Phoenix something. I think it's Phoenix Protocol.
Phoenix Protocol. Yeah.
Right. I want that so bad for my, my the Dawnblade, the one that does the well. Yep. I really want the boots for the Warlock that extends Chaos Reach as well as tops. That I want more than anything, because I really want to run Stormcaller right now, and there's a lot of issues with it. I mean, with the Chaos Reach right now, it's still bugged. I'm surprised they didn't address it in this thing, and I'm going to actually reach out to them again about that. I'm going to reach out to them about Trials, and I'm reaching out to them about Chaos Reach, because there's no mention of
Trials there. That's in a dark corner somewhere. I'm not saying it's not being worked on, but that is in a secret corner. So
yeah, obviously that's still wild. But I am upset that all these new supers came out. One is clearly not working as intended. They barely mentioned that it had an issue. They didn't officially put it on a
I
TWAB
was
that
like,
they.
what is the issue right now?
All right, here's the problem. When the Chaos Reach Super is, you jump in there, you do your Kamehameha Dragon Ball Z thing,
Oh,
right?
the one we can't stop it. I know what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Yeah, you're supposed to stop that. So let's say I kill one person, I can stop it at 80%. At the moment of stopping, my super is supposed to be at 80%.
Yep.
Now it's back to 0.
Yeah.
That is a problem. It's not working as intended. That's supposed to be the strength. And then even like that's why they got those boots called topping off, because they figured people were going to do that. And then you run around, and you start to speed up to get your super again. So it makes it so effective in theory that you would have your super a lot if you're conservative about it. And I want that in the worst way, but the super is not working as intended. I'm not playing it. And I'm just not, because as it is right now, I stay in the air. Let's say I miss my target or I kill one guy. I'm still in the air shooting the whole super off at nobody, and a sitting duck for someone to just come from the side or behind and say, yeah, get him out there, and kill him. So that's a problem. So, they've got to address that. But back to the whole point with the whole exotic things. Yeah, I'm with you. They still need to be exotic. I think this is a step in the right direction, and basically they're upping the faded Ingram RNG, so to speak, right?
Yeah, it's getting to be not quite a checklist, but you're leaning towards starting to work your way through some of the newer stuff,
right?
Which, yeah, I was like, I just don't want to see them throw. I don't want it to go all the way to D2, but it's like everybody's like, some are like, I'm played like 14,000 hours and I've got like 1, and there needs to be a little bit of a balance, but I do like the carrot still being out there. So we'll see how they tweak it and stuff. But I kind of like how they're going to increase the chance. They're like, we're not going to checklist. I would have been like, ah, crap.
Yeah,
but it was like, if we're going to increase the chance, then that's literally, exotics are meant to be that way. So like, just because D2 had you built up in this idea that we got them all the time. If you played D1, welcome back to it. This is how we work. It was a hard grind. So it's just different. So
agreed.
Iron Banner.
Woo!
It came through.
Woo!
How much did you play? Did you knock out all your bounties?
Everything. Killed.
Nice.
Blazed Iron Banner. Had so much fun. And like I said, check out my Twitter, man. I was out here. It was bad for people. I was doing things to me, man. They weren't liking me. It was, man, I had so much fun. Shout out to the clan, Iron Lord Podcast clan. We definitely wrecked shop. I mean, we were mercying people. It was bad. we were doing things, man. But nah, seriously, it was fun. It felt so good for power mattering. Oh, felt so good. And it was just one of those things that, to be honest, besides the power mattering, the real thing, and I don't think gets enough credit, and I really love it. And it's so good that I almost can't play Control the normal way anymore.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
that's like a small tweak to Control in Iron Banner is how I feel like should be all the time.
That locked mechanic when your dog starts howling, wolf dog you got, and you hear that, and it's just like, we're like, get him, seize them, because we know you get those kills, and you get the triple kill point bonus, and you're locking things down. It really incentivizes aggression, because normally before you would say, hey, don't cap the third because the spawns are going to flip, right?
Yep.
Now it's like, no, you cap that third the minute you can get a chance, and you do that, and you really can start crushing people. But here's the other thing: I've been on the opposite, where I've been getting stomped. And
that's my general, because I don't play with teams that often.
Yeah, see, because the thing is, I'll be honest, without teams, it's brutal. If you're coming,
Iron Banner has been brutal for a while. I mean, that's general.
Brutal.
So
I will give you that. It is brutal. As a solo player, it is you have to be very lucky, as well as the only chances I've had is when I've really held it down. KD was like in the 2s or something, and higher, and just really played above my weight. And then, okay, I got my team in position. And then what saved me would be like, okay, a clutch power play towards the end of a match.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, we got him. We turned it in the tide. And that's why I just love that mechanic. At least it gives some hope for comeback. But yeah, eventually they may have to think about doing something, with the solo guy, because it is rough. It is very rough as a solo
that's
player.
one of the things that so many people have argued about. Now I know this is whole meant to be played as a team, and this is one of those that goes back and forth. And some of the elite players will just find a team, play it, LFG it. I don't know. To me, I see matches where there are completely random. You'll see 12 different clan names on there. The initials are on there. So they do exist. I know that people are out there. And honestly, sometimes the wait for Crucible are long enough
Mm-hmm.
I'd wait like an extra minute or so in a solo queue
Mm-hmm.
if it was guaranteed that everybody was that way, because I do think that would level the playing field.
Right.
I don't know if they will ever do that because people have been asking for that crap forever.
Longest,
But I was like, as Iron Banner is hard enough with a team because power level matters, and if you're playing a team of 6, I guarantee you those people probably worked together and played a little more than your random group that you paired up with. And while you may be decent, if you're 5'7" and you paired up with 2 people that are like 5'20" and they're just getting stepped on all the time, you're at a disadvantage straight up.
Right.
So between the team shotting and the other, I wish there was more of an occasional solo queue or just better matchmaking to be like, hey, if there's 3 on this team, find a group of 3 and then randomize the others. At least equate the teams. Whether it's solo matchmaking or not, just equate the teams. I've seen Overwatch do it from the very beginning.
Yes.
I know that crap has to exist. Bungie is at its best point right now.
Does Overwatch have dedicated servers or no? You know,
Probably.
Probably so.
I mean,
that might be an issue too. But I'm with you on that.
Yeah, and there are definite times where it's like, that's the whole thing, even on PC. It's like, I don't feel it as bad sometimes as I used to on console. Just consoles can't process stuff as faster. But there are definitely times when I'm playing on PC where I feel like, man, I'm on fire. I'm hitting my shots. I feel like I'm accurate. And then you get the flip where your side's not the host and you are screwed. Like one of your side, like if you're not the host, like people are a little bit more warpy. Shots aren't quite landing as much. I'm like, I literally just got done playing the same game, same guns, and I feel like I'm a different skill level in the following game. Just because I'm playing against different people, I'm like, I know sometimes the matchmaking, some people may be better or worse, but I feel like my shots land sometimes and then they don't on others. And I can watch people like be like, hey, everything looks money on my side. Then the other time people are warping and jumping around. So it's like some of those things, like I still can't quite figure out how the whole hybrid matchmaking hasn't ever gotten to dedicated servers. But, you know, it's only 4 years in. What are you going to do? Yeah. Shout out to TF Kronos. Gambit. Same thing. Full teams, duos, solos. Like, pair the matches. If there are 2 and 2, match the 2 and 2s in Gambit. Even more probably on Gambit, just because it's so objective based.
That's another.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's another reason for cross play and cross progression for the future to increase those player bases. If they're worried about counts being low, imagine if you had all systems in one queue. Would it be nice?
It's not that hard. Like if you went to go play on Xbox, Borealis doesn't work. If it wasn't just literally gray the damn thing out, that's not that hard.
Yep.
No, I mean transferring data between if like all the servers are one, all the others like I mean, no, I can look on my Bungie account, but it should just be your Bungie login. You log in. This is your stuff.
Exactly.
Because I can see it everywhere on DIM. Just consolidate my crap.
And I can see it. I can literally see it on the Bungie app. It shows me, oh, look at these guys. They're on Blizzard. Oh, look at this guy. He's got a clan on PS4. You know, Xbox. It does it there. So the functionality is there. It's just literally they have to implement it, and hopefully by D3 we can finally get that, put that to rest. That would be awesome because, dude, we got to play together. Like,
I know,
can't even play with you. Like, it
at some point when you get your PC and when you make the upgrade, we'll
I love how it's me that has to do.
Well, I'm not gonna go level up an Xbox. I'm not the one who's potentially going to get a brand new computer. You're the one who's going to get a computer. Therefore, you're the one who's going to be able to play. I will buy you Destiny on PC when you get the computer. Straight up sold. That's easy.
All right, you heard it here on the podcast, y'all. Yeah, heard it.
Yeah, full Forsaken collection, Cognitos. I will buy it for him when that computer is built, and then I'm sorry, guys, on Xbox, you won't see him again. Because he respects the nice stuff, and I know the lords might be there on the Xbox. You're going to be like, sorry, guys, it's too pretty, can't go back. Anyway, so Iron Banner, there were ups and downs. I know some of the bounties were definitely a grind. You would, and that was the only thing about the Iron Banner bounties, as there's so much other stuff to do. It's hard to spend time in that much in Iron Banner going for 15 power play kills, which you might get 0 for like 3 or 4 matches. Then you might get 1, then you might get 3. You don't quite know. I mean, there were just a lengthy grind. So they are going to, now there's 2 pieces to this. And if you guys heard Dato's video, he was like, hey, Iron Banner, it's not quite as easy and they're not going to give away stuff. Well, guess what? Next Iron Banner, things are changing. So bounties, pretty much all the grinds have been shortened. Orbs has been cut in half. Match completions is down in half, which is insane. Super kills been cut by 5. Certain ones have been lowered. And each one of the bounties that there were 4 that granted legendary, which was the lower gear, and 2 were powerful, which is probably that smaller tier, like 1 or 2 above once you get above 540. All of these are going to be powerful gear now. Every single bounty.
Yeah. Big.
What do you think?
Listen, I'm cool with it. I mean, like you said, there's so much things to do right now. So You've got to incentivize that. I think that's the key word today.
Yeah.
Incentivize. You have to incentivize activities. If you want people to stay in this activity, then you got to get powerful gear. And we all know in Forsaken how people react when they see powerful gear on the screen.
Yeah.
You got to include it. So I'm cool with this. This is fine. And in all, and I gotta defend myself too. Like I really did grind Iron Bandit during, and still was trying to do everything. Like I basically no lifed it when Iron Bandit came out,
Yeah.
and I still didn't get. I got all the powerful gear, which was like the 2 or 3 of those bounties that were only given it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't get everything done. I got the precision kills. I forgot what it was. It was like maybe 1 or 2 bounties, and I was like, you know what? It ain't giving powerful gear. I'm good. I got everything
Yeah.
I wanted, and
Yep.
I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I like this. I like that the whole thought process of it. That's how Iron Banner used to be, which was to, you know, gave. I remember a lot of people in my clan that were lower light, and I'm like, dude, get in the Iron Banner now.
Yeah,
That's how
I
it
mean,
used to be.
it is mostly, I mean, match wins. I mean, if you're playing with
Hmm.
randoms, yeah, it's going to be a little tougher, but eventually
Yeah,
you'll probably knock him out, hopefully.
yeah.
I mean, super kills, those are ones just use your super. That's literally why it's all that stuff.
Hmm.
I mean, but there's some that are still skill,
Right.
precision kills, orbs, things like, I mean, there's certain ones that are going to be spend some time. There's a couple that are going to be skill level that you're going to
Right.
have to work on, but overall, I mean, I'm okay with it generally because I think this
Hmm.
is going to be more along the lines of
Hmm.
there's 3 different tiers of powerful gear, and I still think this is going to be tier 1. So,
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm in the middle with all of them being powerful gear. I don't know how I feel about
yeah,
all of them, so I'm
I
I'm,
know.
I'm a little data-y on that one. But it does come around. It's a thing. I'm just concerned that everybody's just going to be like, okay, boom, Max Light, here we go again. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I do feel something had to be done. I would have been cool, honestly, with just 3. You know what I'm saying? I believe like the old Rise of Iron used to have like 3 meaningful drops from either the bounties or whatever from Saladin or something, if I recall correctly. But
Yeah.
that I think would have been a sweet spot. But I guess they're saying, hey, we want to put it out. So we got to see how it goes, how easy and how fast it is, or whatever, whatever. But something did have to get done. The grind was pretty intense, and with all these other things and activities that Forsaken has, to dedicate that amount to just this for only,
2.
1 or 2 is
Yeah.
not fair.
Yeah, so I mean a little bit more of the I mean I don't think it's going to be the big jumps. They're not going to be Dreaming City level of jumps and
Mhm.
light level, but especially if you're going to spend some time in Iron Banner and it's going to help you kind of like level out your gear, bump them up here
Mhm.
and there little places, that's fine. I mean the grind is
Mhm.
long enough as it is. If it's just one more, you're still going to have to spend some time. They're not like easy, but I
Mhm.
mean kills is from 250 down to 150. Precision kills is 100 to 50. Like some of those took some hits, but I mean they're still not going to be ones like precision kills 50. If precision's not your game, that's still going to take you a minute. So,
Mhm. Nice.
but I know if precision's what I'm going for, I'm definitely going to be changing up my loadout.
Mhm.
Hand cannons, scout rifles, snipers. I was working on the precision skills. I was like, screw this. I kept seeing Pantheon or what is it now? Convergence.
Oh, Converge. Oh God.
Yeah. I was like,
Uh,
all right, here comes some snipes. Walk down that hallway, wait for him, and I had my Dread Adventure just started popping heads. So
nice.
I missed that map because it literally is one where the
Snap
sniper
is
lanes are
great.
very, very obvious, and
Yes.
I can actually just practice my sniping more on that one. And I'm not going to say I'm amazing, but it's a way for me to
Right.
actually work on the skill a little bit because they're very obvious lanes for that. So,
Yeah. Listen, I'm not a sniper. I had dread for it, but I'm happy that it's back because you guys
yeah.
need to do it. Shout out to your
But yeah,
boy
generally,
OG Scott.
oh,
He's in your chat.
yeah.
He said, I think it's great for Iron Banner to have all the power drops, but I also think if that's the case, the bounty should take long to do if achievable, yet still a hard task for end gear guys. What do you think, Ebontis?
So I would be honestly okay with that. Like some of them were longer for sure. So even if they hadn't touched the bounties, just made them all powerful, that would still be more incentive just to spend time in there and naturally work on things.
Mm-hmm.
Bounty should be long. So you're saying bounty should be longer, but they should change the bounties to something different when it's available this past Iron Banner. Yeah, I was like, I don't want them to always be the same bounties. Bounties
Mm-hmm.
cannot be that hard to program.
Mm-hmm.
To me, at least in theory, there's probably enough stuff that they track and things like that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to see the same 6 bounties for every Iron Banner because then it just tends to get a little old. What if it's like, okay, what about the ones that used to be like, hey, auto rifle kills for Crucible, things like that? Have a reason to play differently. Maybe
Right.
1 or 2, maybe 1 daily bounty that mixes things up a little bit. So you see different loadouts, different
Mm-hmm.
guns in there as opposed to precisions and orbs and stuff like that. Mix it up just a little bit. So, but I'm honestly okay with the bounties being a
Mm-hmm.
decent amount of a grind. Because even if you didn't finish them all, but say I finished 4 and they were all powerful, then I think it would probably still be okay. Because as you said, you didn't get everything done. You got 4 done, but after a while, you're like the last 2 didn't have powerful. You might have spent a little more time, and you basically no-lifed it. You said you basically no-lifed the damn game for a week, and you didn't finish them all. So, I mean, they are not small grinds. Some are going to come quicker than others, wins. But to me, yeah, I'd like to see... And this is the whole... I don't want to see everything get casualized. I don't want to see these bounties keep dropping in ease. Easier and easier. So it's like, they got to watch how easy they make some things. So, OMG, it's Scott. I probably said that wrong the first time. I thought it was OMG, it's cool, but it's OMG, it's Scott. Yeah, I was like, I like the grind still being out there. It just, I worry about things getting too easy, and I know that's what some people want, but you got to work for what you got. So
yeah, I got a good point.
In case you guys are wondering how power level works, they put a nice actual chart out there. So 10 power level is actually a pretty quick drop. So I mean, those first, so even like 10 power levels, when you're up at 590 or 600, it's still going to make a difference when you start to max out a little bit if you're not using that optimal gear. Hence where that infusion piece is kind of a factor. You'll notice they make a very hard kind of point right here at 100 power level difference. You're doing 20% damage less or 20% damage more. And then if you all the way get down to 200 power levels, if somebody's jumping into Iron Banner, but they only have like expansion 2, not 3, they're going to be on the struggle bus because they're doing 50% damage. And it's going to be rough. Now, seriously, I'm kind of curious, what are your thoughts on that one? Because I know it's only, it's a 1 week thing. It's not up all the time. But for those who do want to play Iron Banner, it's a chance to get gear. Those who jump in and want to try and like level up,
the grind's harder. There's no doubt.
Butt off for it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm gonna sound so elitist. I don't care. Like my thing is, that's what the mode is about. It's in the lore. The strongest guardians, you know what I'm saying, put themselves to the test. This is not regular. This is not Shax's Crucible. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, you're gonna get drops. You're gonna get kills, especially now with the bounties being tweaked the way they're gonna be tweaked to make it easier. You know what I'm saying? And here's the other thing. At a lower light, I used to be, first of all, let me give myself some credit, as I'm sounding very elitist right now. But when I used to play Banner back in the day, right? These guys were always ahead of me. Sinister, Gaming Addict, all these guys were always ahead of me light level wise. Those are the light level chasers in my clan. My thing is I'll get to it when I get to it, right? So when Iron Banner came around, I made it my business to stay in packs. I didn't go off on too much missions by myself because literally I wasn't strong enough to be able to, take a lot of the one-on-ones, or if I didn't have like the God roll weapon at the time. So you just got to play smarter. You just got to say, okay, you know what? I know it's the same mentality. When I went to the Lighthouse in Trials, I wasn't max light. These guys were higher light than me, but I played smart. I played more defensive. I played in packs. You have to change the way you think. It's the same attention to detail, the mentality I was saying with Gambit when people were complaining about the sleeper. Not saying the sleeper is not ridiculous, but I'm just saying that when you hear Invader, you have to play a certain different way now.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying. So again, I am happy this is back. You're not going to get a contradiction out of me on this one. I'll leave it the way it is. If you want to be strong, go get strong. Go hit the gym. Get that light up. Hit the weights. You know what I'm saying? There's things for you to do if you still don't feel comfortable stepping in that arena. But this is the big boy arena. If you want to do, you got Crucible over here for you. You got Breakthrough and all this other stuff for you. If you want to come in here, just prepare to grind and play smart. You will get the gear. You will get drops. You will get kills. It's not like you're not going to kill nobody. You can get cleanup kills. You can do a whole bunch of things. It's not impossible. Do not bring it back to Iron Banner D2 where it didn't even matter. Like, I love where it is right now. I think Iron Banner is in a fantastic place, me personally.
I mean, you're not going to get a whole bunch of argument out of me. I mean, I know there are people out there who are still playing Forsaken and are playing Destiny without Forsaken.
Right.
I mean, that's going to be a pretty big difference because they're capping at about 380. So you're going to see that 200 power level difference.
Right.
And I know it's not an option. No, I'm just trying to think of the way to phrase this. I know not everybody can buy everybody expansion. I'm lucky enough to be able to do that, and I'm thankful for that. But if you're playing Iron Banner against people who, it does matter and they're up to date with the game and they just have access to higher level and content. Quick play, as you said, quick play is your thing. It doesn't matter in there. Iron Banner is one of those that comes up once a month, whatever the rotation is going to be, and it's a chance for that to matter. It's a chance for that person at 600 who has more 600 gear options, maybe got that god tier roll, maybe they've got a little bit more infusion, and things are going to matter. So I mean, yeah, we're going to sound kind of like, you know, little elitist right now, and I'm not even max level, and I got the floor just mopped with my face all over it a few times. And then there were other times where I could tell, be like, they didn't have a chance against me because I might have been shooting a 520 and I was 540. So I mean, it went both ways and probably will for a little while. As we all work on leveling up, this will probably be less of a factor for most of us. But then those who are like 600 to 2, like 600 to 380, if I see a 380 in there, I'm just going to be like, I'm sorry. More than anything else, this is just going to suck for you. But I was like, when I've gone through enough solo queues in Iron Banner, it basically feels like I'm 200 powers under level anyway. So yeah, that's just kind of how that one's going to roll. It's a way just to give Iron Banner something different and a way to set it apart.
I can't repeat what Attic just said in the chat. Literally, I'll just say he doesn't.
Oh, it's fine.
We'll just leave it at that.
It's just like, we're going to go ahead and leave that there. So, but they do explain it pretty clearly. So, I mean, just read the chart as is, but say if I'm 100 power level below my opponent, I'm doing 80% damage. But if you're 100 power levels over your opponent, you're doing 20% more damage. It's a smaller curve. I mean, right here at the beginning, if you're about 10 levels, and this is where equipping your highest stuff for Iron Banner is going to make a difference. 10% damage on some of those little crucial kills, resilience, and all those pieces will add up to winning and losing battles.
Right. But you know what?
So
I love that.
No, absolutely. And that's where I think that maxing your character or playing with your highest stuff is going to be the factor. And that's why I was like, hey, you didn't infuse this up. Well, maybe you get to. And hopefully with this infusion cores being more frequent or whatever cores are going to be, then it'll be reasonable. Because right now, that's the other problem that exacerbated it more. I'm not going to spend my cores for one weekly activity, but it sucks that I can't jump up and level all the things that I want to play with just so I am the highest level. So that's, again, Iron Banner was one of those things that pointed out even more that cores were an issue. So
no, absolutely. You're definitely right with that. Because I had that decision. I got, in my opinion, a god roll. Go figure. My go figure. Man, let me tell you what I'm right. I'm doing I think it's got a handling mod in it. But the roll is full auto, and it sounds basic. It's full auto and moving target. So you were like, okay. First of all, full auto takes that gun to another level.
Yep. I've got
full auto on moving target in gunfights while they're strafing, while you're strafing, and that gun staying sticky. And then on top of it, I threw on the default tier mod, the default gun mod was handling. But then I bought a Banshee target acquisition mod.
Ah, nice.
Let me tell you how sticky this thing is, man. It's disgusting what I'm doing to people. So it's just like I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, I gotta bring my baby forward. So there goes those cores. You know what I'm saying? Another reason, like you said, like, damn, you gotta use cores again. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because I had to make that decision. But yeah, it's just one of them things, man. I do like the fact though that I sat there through my entire armory and my weapons and said, okay, what's giving me max light? And also in conjunction with, you know, trying, sometimes I sacrifice light. I was like, look, this one's giving me more shotgun rounds per green block scavenge. My light goes down about 2, but that's a killer perk. I'd rather have that with the lower light so that when I'm picking up shotgun, those green blocks off the floor, my shotgun is rocking, my Icolos is rocking. You see what I'm saying? So again, I didn't go into Banner with my max light. I actually went in with mostly my best loadout. You know what I'm saying? And you will still be effective. If you have the best loadout, you can still work. Now, yeah, light is an advantage, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? I'm not belittling that. But there's still ways around it and play smart, work with teams. You're going to unlock stuff. You're going to get bounties done. You're eventually going to get powerful gear, especially with this next Iron Banner with the way they're tweaking it, and you're going to be okay.
Yep. Nope, I agree. I mean, that's just one of those pieces where it makes you think a little more, and sometimes it's good for a game to do that. So
yes,
can't argue with that one. If you guys do want to see some amazing art between Bungie, High Moon Studios, I'm forgetting the third one, Vicarious Visions, all those guys have done some amazing stuff. If you guys haven't played the Corrupted Strike, haven't seen some of the Dreaming City, like all of this stuff is
beautiful.
Crazy Town. Check out these artists, check out their basically they'll have their it's ArtStation, it'll be their page, browse through their pictures. Some of these renderings they do are going to be much higher quality than we're ever going to get, even I will get in game. And this stuff looks amazing. So scroll through here, look at this. I mean, this is from the mission opening section. You've got the reef. Just these high, crispy images are so really nice to look at. So shout out to the artists, guys. There's a lot of really cool ones in here. Just looking at the detail on some of the stuff. That's like the most high def ammo break you'll probably ever see. For example, this one right here. So it's just the detail and stuff you guys get in some of these as they render them out. They're really cool. So shout out to the artists. Just scrolling through these real quick. This is a really, really tall image. This one right here. But I know it's like a hallway from prison. The thing is probably crazy huge. But that shot right there of that abomination is just a detail you don't get to see normally. It's nice because we're always usually shooting from farther away. Just the little details you get to see up close. The chains are on their wrist. The way the face is actually completely covered in the mask. It's crazy. So and then this is, I think, I don't know if this is the final raid boss or not. Or I wonder if this is the one from Shattered Throne.
I'm trying to remember now. That is... Yeah, it might be, because I was like, this look like could be a Savathun right there.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I can't remember the name of like the Shattered Throne boss. I've seen the name, but I think it was like a wizard, but kind of an interesting one. So I mean, this is like wizard to like level 10. So she'd be evil. But I mean, that's kind of, these are some of the cool things we get to see behind the scenes, and these are just fun for them to throw out occasionally. They have a little thing going on. So they're working on the Bungie holiday card and a couple different options. So if you're an artist out there, submit your stuff. And these are just some that they've done before. This one's actually pretty cute.
That's hilarious. I love that.
And this one's just crispy. Just a clean little Bungie in the corner, just snowflake, and then just the trapple hanging from a tree. And again, sometimes simple works in art. Shout out, by the way, to everybody in chat. If you guys are an artist out there, I wanted to say I've got quite a few requests for this thing to go on audio. So to get it on either Podbean or iTunes, and you got to go through a whole process to get iTunes approved. But for you guys just to have a way to listen to the audios, I know people have asked. So I do want to try and work on that. If you guys are an artist and want to make us a little Flashpoint logo, I would be appreciative of that.
Yes, please.
But if somebody wants to just, I mean, it doesn't even have to be like crazy right now, but if you want to whip something up just so we can slap something on there, there's some details about it and stuff. But if you'll reach out, let me know. You can send me a message on YouTube. I try and check most all those, or hit me on Twitter. Just be cool to work on getting you guys just the Flashpoint audio version. For those of you that don't catch us live or want to watch it on YouTube, you can definitely catch it on just more of a audio stream. So if you're walking your dog or just, listen to a podcast, you can do it that way. So random shout out to the artists out there in the world. If you got if you feel like helping, we'd be appreciative.
Absolutely.
Random piece out there. And if not,
real quick to be jump in too, because this is a good question. I didn't know. I think we, kind of getting to that point, but same thing on my side, guys. If you guys, I know Boss is doing it. If you guys really want me to push, please leave in the comments after the video if you watch it late. Hey, I really want, really appreciate us doing the audio for it. And I'll jump on that train too. I mean, I can do it. Obviously we started small, we're still, slowly growing. But if the request is there, demand is there, I will definitely do it as well. So please, if you want it, please let me know. And we're definitely trying to listen to you guys and take your guys' feedback as we, try to grow this thing. And definitely, like you said, like logo is definitely next. We're definitely gonna be trying to work on that. So all you aspiring artists, if you have any ideas, hey, feel free.
But yeah, those are cool. Submit them. You might get, your emblem and stuff like that. As for Bungie player support, just basic stuff. They talk about some maintenance, some known issues, things like that they're working on. I won't cover all of those. There's been some issues with this week's Spider Bounty, Prime Engrams for Crucible, randomly not dropping. Just different things certainly not working. So definitely check out Bungie.net for their Pardon Our Dust. They are working on stuff. No game's perfect, so they are working on it. But at least they say, hey, these are known.
True.
So do what you can to avoid it if it happens.
My super though, I'm upset.
I'm just saying.
I'm upset. I'm surprised. I was a little hurt.
There's a whole lot of stuff that's going to happen with supers at some point, whether it's balancing, whether it's like bring in some of the other classes so they're a little more synergistic with their classes, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
there's changes that are going to have to happen at some point. So we'll see if that comes in a big sweeping pass, maybe in December. Shout out to both Esoteric and I think it was Slayer Age, who both have like solo Flawless, the Shattered Throne. That's a hell of a feat. I mean, granted, they're like maybe 590, 600. So, I mean, they're doing it at the right light level to do it. But either way, to solo this thing when they're just trying to figure that stuff out, that was up quick. So, those are crazy. Dreaming City, a little random video. And more Bungie bounties will continue. So, if you're looking to try and take on some people, look at your platform, look at your time, see if you'll be awake and around.
Yes, sir.
And that does pretty much wrap up the TWAB. I'll just leave you guys a crazy picture for now so you can look at something. Yeah. If you got a minute, I did want to ask you one more thing.
Sure.
And it's just more in the economy world. Mods.
Very interesting. What
are your... I was like, my biggest thing right now is I had a whole bunch of parts to break down. Now I've been buying little bits and pieces here and there. I'll like just to make sure I have like one of each mod, but I haven't like hardly modded any armor yet.
Right.
I've been buying the mods, but I mean, I know I could buy the mods because I broke down and I have like, I had 230 mod components.
Jesus.
So yeah. I mean, I bought some here and then I kept breaking down weapons. So I've got a few more, but if again, this is kind of the question of for economies,
right?
For a new person, for a place to get mods.
Yeah.
They have no way to earn mod components. Banshee does it. I have 5,000 gunsmith materials I can't do squat with.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Yeah. Sucks. So, and your stuff was in the gun too. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So I mean, the ones you get random components on maybe have dropped. Like I've played a decent amount, and there are probably some sporadic ones with mods out there, but generally just where do you think the mod economy should go? Do you think it's in a good spot, bad spot? Just thoughts on that one.
Yeah, it needs to be fixed.
Because we didn't cover it last week either.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good question. Yeah, it needs to be fixed. I think that the mistake they made is just assuming everyone's coming from the old D2 expansions into this, and bringing all their huge, gear in. That's why I think they changed Banshee's economy rate. It takes way more to level him now, if you notice. So I think that was done to throttle us, the hardcore. Again, I get it for the hardcore, but like you said, for the guy who's just starting Forsaken, doesn't have masterwork cores, doesn't have, mod components. He's not getting any of those things Banshee's selling. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's not skewed correctly. It has to be changed. Now, I'm on the opposite spectrum. I have been using mods. I think the mods themselves are really good. I've tested. I believe. I want to give the correct person credit. Oh, somebody's got a video out right now where they're breaking down. I think one of them
boss spec, major and minor, that type of thing.
Everything though. Once some people are going. I think one of them is Cool Guy.
I feel like I may have seen that one too. So
couple of.
Can't remember the name, but shout out to who did it. Not claiming the honors here.
Exactly. Shout out to those guys. And I'm telling you right now, if you're running double or triple super regeneration mods, really makes a difference. I've seen it, so I've been doing that. But again, with Infusion the way it is, I have to be very judicious about what I'm putting it in. Because I don't want to, I made a mistake and I put it in something I liked. And I'm like, and then boom, I'm getting higher light level stuff in that category. And now there goes a wasted mod. And I don't want to break that thing down to get the mod back because it's, what I'm saying? It was kind of like a good roll. So there still has to be tweaks. It still has to be fixed as far as getting components. And let's give, again, Banshee a little bit more functionality with stuff like that. So they had the right idea with the mod and how they're doing it, but it's not implemented correctly.
Yep. Got to be able to earn them.
Yes.
That's kind of the big one.
I agree. But the mods are good, man. The ones I've tested is boss spec. I've got it in a hand cannon with triple tap. Oh, so good. I got a 10 paces with that. It's so nasty. I got, like I told you about my gold figure with the arm aim assist. So nasty. The super mods, I've got those. The Paragon stuff where I can get my basically I put that inside my Lunafaction boots. So this way, boom, I'm getting the rift faster to get empowering rift. You know
Nice.
what I'm saying? And it's just
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
feels good. It feels strong. I had hip fire, but I couldn't think of any. The only thing I could think of was like maybe that would be good in a grenade launcher. But I was like, I'm not really hip firing a bunch of things.
Yeah, there's a couple that I've been kind of wondering. We talked about this a little bit last week
Hmm.
because you've got hip fire is a big one. I'm not going to throw that on next to
Yeah,
anything basically
yeah.
because what am I going to hip fire? Like,
That's what I was thinking. I literally I got two of them, and I was like, all right, I'm starting one. I'm
yeah,
like,
free hand grip. That's that one.
mhm. I'm like, I'm not really shooting from the hip, on in
No,
Destiny.
I want to be accurate pretty much. I mean, yeah, as you said, grenade launcher literally might be the only one. It just says increase accuracy and ready speed while firing from the hip. And maybe that's literally just what it's meant for as a grenade launcher, but there's not many uses for that one.
Rocket?
Um,
I
Another
don't
one
know.
we were talking about was
Mhm.
the minor enemies. So the minor spec deals extra damage to the rank and
Yeah.
file enemies. Like where, and we were literally trying to figure this out last week. Where does that fit? Because boss, like most enemies to that
Mhm.
level, whether it's thrall, I mean, now knights can technically be red bars.
Right.
I mean, there are points where sometimes if you know you have a whole bunch of reds, but
Mhm.
typically when you're going to want mods, it's for the higher level stuff. You're going to see more
Yeah.
majors, you're going to see more bosses. Those are where you're going to want that extra damage because those mid tiers, hopefully you can deal with them. Otherwise,
Mhm.
figure out another methodology. But generally, that's kind of the ones that
Yeah.
struggle, I guess, a little bit for me
I agree.
because some of those are more. And there seem to be some more mods out there that we haven't quite seen. The whole Taken repurposing, destroying a Taken shield
Mhm.
refreshes your grenade build. Like, I think I got one of those from doing, I don't even know where the hell that one came from. And I think a buddy of mine got one too, but that was literally just like from doing something specific. So there's a few that we haven't seen. So yeah, as you said, I like the concept of these.
Mhm.
It's just like sometimes the accessibility to get them, or again, that decision to use it is almost so detrimental for somebody new that they're almost going to be afraid to. Or if they do, then they're stuck with something that's unfortunately not the greatest role. So
Mhm.
it's just a tweak of like, again, Banshee, couple of these vendors just need a little more to do. I'll do a Zer video in an hour and a half, and I'm not even sure there's much of a function to it.
I know, right?
Uh, I
But you
mean,
won't know
literally,
where he is.
yeah, I was like, well, know where he is. Have mostly it's just the location. And if you want some new rolls on some armor that's not going to be like 380, but you want an exotic at least that's like
Yes.
520, you can pick one up.
Yes. Mhm.
And maybe there are some good rolls. It is
Mhm.
weird how Zer's rolls, if it's helmets, they all seem to have the same mod for the week. If it's like the same piece, like two helmets, like for a Titan and a Warlock, they're going to have the exact same mod roll. Exactly.
Back.
It was
Yeah.
weird. I've seen that multiple weeks now, so that's an
Mhm.
odd thing.
Mhm.
But generally, I mean, they made the mods more meaningful. Their general use, which is cool.
Mhm.
I think it's just kind of tweaking a couple pieces here and there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's kind of our biggest thing, and that was kind of one of the topics I wanted to cover today. It's like
Mhm.
cores need tweaks, we need a way to earn them. Mods need
Mhm.
tweaks, we need ways to earn them.
Mhm.
They just need ways to make those things, even if it's just randomly from chests occasionally. If I
Mhm.
open like 100 chests on the Dreaming City, I probably might have like maybe I get like 5 cores from doing that. Just occasionally have those things be throughout the world,
Mhm.
or have bounties and ways to. I don't want
Yes.
6,000 bounties because I'd like to
Right.
just have a few other places. So.
Yeah. Addict says he misses strange coins.
Oh, that is a can of worms.
I don't.
No, like that's just one more of those, and that was just one of those things everybody farmed. I even forget how you got those damn things. What
They
did you
used to
do to
drop.
get those?
I
Huh?
forget now. They used to drop
I forget where they
randomly.
came from, but yeah, they
Nightfall
just
and stuff like that.
yeah, like all those pieces. And then you accumulated so many you could buy everything. I mean, shards are
Yeah.
basically in the same position they
Same
are. I
thing
have
now.
3,000 shards, so what are you gonna
Mhm.
do? But um,
What is he
yeah,
asking for? He's asking for shards. I haven't even bought anything from Zero since.
Xert, yeah, it's shards. It's just
Okay.
shards. It's 23 or 29 shards, depending on if it's a weapon or armor. And
Got you.
then the big one's 97, the faded.
Wait, he's still selling the oh, but the faded, yeah,
The
for the
faded is
old.
old. The only thing I
Yeah,
would say is if you're on Xbox or PC, hit that faded if you don't have Borealis yet.
that is true. I don't have Borealis, but
So
I
that's
don't
one
think
of
I'm
those ways
wasting it on it.
to.
Mhm.
I mean, if you got 3,000 shards, spending
Mhm.
97, probably not a terrible idea. But outside of that, um,
Addict says Zero feels less relevant because he doesn't have his own currency. I hear where you're going with that. I think we kind of touched on this earlier. I think he just needs to have bounties. If Masterwork cores or whatever this new thing is so important, give him some bounties for that. You know what I'm saying? Or have him exchange shards for what you call it, for cores or something like that. Maybe have like kind of like a another spider, you know what I'm saying, so to speak, in the
Yeah.
interim. So we'll see, without the ridiculous raising the prices.
Yeah, the inflation.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think that's probably most of it for the day. I
That's
know
it.
you got to try and find
Yeah.
some way to. Oh, hey there, got a Twitch Prime sub. Thank you. Hi X
Woo!
Certified. What's up? What's up? I know you were catching the tail into this thing, so sorry to get the sub and bail on you. But
Salute,
uh,
Basic Certified,
but
man.
yeah,
You picked a
honestly,
good
just thank you
channel.
for the support. I do appreciate that big time.
Mhm.
Um,
Yes,
but
you're in good
yeah,
hands with Ebontis. You're in good
yeah,
hands.
thank you for the support. I know on YouTube, if you guys found me there, thank you guys for coming over and checking this thing out.
Mhm.
We do our ridiculous long points. Flash is probably the wrong word. I could almost switch that thumbnail to long point, but flashpoint is kind of the idea. But
Exactly.
got some new people in Twitch chat this morning, so thank you guys.
Awesome.
OMG, high certified. Shout out to him
Yes.
in chat.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll
Nice.
post this thing up on YouTube. I'll probably do it tomorrow.
Nice.
Um, But I think I think we probably talked your guys' ear off enough for the day. So we probably should
Yeah.
wrap it up. We are over 2. It's 2:13.
Yes,
So
sir.
but yeah, if you want to wrap your side up and then I'll hit mine, go
Yeah,
for it,
man.
man.
Yeah, good to be back in the biz, talking Flashpoint, talking Destiny with my brethren. Really good to do. So, yeah, man, this is good. Obviously, you know where to find me on Twitter at Lord Cognito, and obviously you can follow also the Iron Lord podcast at Iron Lord with a D, just a single no S on the Twitter account, Iron Lord podcast. Please follow us there. This Sunday got a nice guest. It will be Rick Hogue from Hogue Law. So we're gonna get, if you want to get the background on how games contractually things get made, and intellectual property, as well as all the juicy tidbits with the telltale closing and lawsuits.
There you
You
go.
know, this guy is really good, man. He's a gamer as well. We're really going to get a chance to dive deep into some subjects. So if you're interested in that, every Sunday is the Lord's Day, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will be on the Inner Circle Network. So please join the live chat there. And of course, on the Iron Lords podcast YouTube channel, you have Flashpoint, you have Combat Talk, you have us going to E3, PAX, all the shows, all that good stuff. We're getting reviews up. I want to shout out our stream team, Sonaldo. He's going to have a review up. We're doing the game Scum, I believe, a review coming up very soon. So look out for that. We definitely try to get games a little earlier, give us our perspective. We're working on things, and hopefully get Ebontis on down with the stream team. That would be cool. Maybe stream something for us. That'd be cool. That may be in the works later. But yeah, man, catch us as much as we can. We're really trying to put out good content. And yeah, man, this is a good Flashpoint. Chats was fantastic. Great to see you guys. Great to be talking Destiny and being all engaged. So that's what I got.
Yeah. So I mean I'll wrap up as well. First, shout out to about 4,000 new people, which just blows my mind.
Woo!
Yeah, seriously, like I'll go check my analytics and I literally have like 40, I think it's 4,600 new subscribers in the past like week. I don't even know what to say to that. To all you guys and gals out there, I say mostly guys, but any ladies out there, welcome as well. Believe me, I'm beside myself and kind of what's happened. I know I'm not the biggest one out there, but I mean, I think you guys huge. Yeah, so we'll see what this weekend does. Probably going to be working on a heroic guide as well. Not going to see 190,000 views out of it, but definitely some people are asking. So try and get a fresh heroic guide out there. But yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter as well. It's Ebontis everywhere. So if you search Ebontis, you'll find me. I technically have an Instagram, but I don't use it. I'll work on that some point, but I try to do trouble keeping up with all of these things. Twitter and YouTube is plenty. But generally, guys, it's been awesome. I'm loving Forsaken. We know it's not perfect. Economies need tweaked. If you haven't made it to the raid, just know it's going to be waiting for you when you get ready. Keep grinding. And if you get tired of the grind for a little bit, spend some time, play Spider-Man, come back when you're ready. I say Spider-Man just because it was the big one that came out recently. Whatever's coming. I mean, Call of Duty Blackout's going to be one that pulls some people away for a little bit just because I don't even know if I care about multiplayer. Just Blackout, because it's a polished battle royale, could be a fun way just to, discharge some time, have a little fun in there. But generally, guys, it's been amazing. I'll keep the content coming to you guys, be it Flashpoint, we'll post it up. I will see what I can do. And I know you were talking about the audio, but I mean, I can see about doing it for both of us, really, because you already handled one podcast. So
yeah, that'd be great.
See what I'll just see what I can do for figuring that one out, just so there's an audio source for both sides for you guys to listen, whether it's from Iron Lords or from my YouTube, just so you guys can actually see it all. But other than that, guys, thank you very much. I think we will wrap it up here so the vampire can get some sleep. And then other than that, guys, we will see you next week. Check out our videos. Check out Iron Lords podcast on Sunday. Those guys are awesome. If nothing else, try and catch them live, or at least the intros. The man of intros, man. I forget who I was listening to recently. I've been trying to catch up on a few that I missed, and they're just like, dude, you should be doing those intros for somebody because it's killing me every time. They're so good. So
much appreciated. I have a lot of fun.
He's the master. Yeah. So you guys have been awesome. Thank you very much. And we will see hopefully more of you next week. Spread the word. And if you can watch us on your phone or your computer or wherever you're at, we'll see y'all soon.
All right. Peace.